Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is the night of nights. The NFL draft, the 2024 NFL draft is upon us. Many of you have been with us the whole way leading up to this draft, day after day, sometimes multiple times a day, talking about the Seahawks, talking about this draft, talking about every single player. And even beyond that, a number of you have filled out essentially your brackets, your predictions for who is going to go where in this NFL draft in the first round. And we will be updating the scoreboard as we go along. I just locked the spreadsheet. Nobody else can edit it. I saw somebody in there trying to put their predictions in at 4:58. I respect the hustle, but I'm sorry you were going to miss the last part of your predictions because had to lock it down, give everybody the same chance. Tonight, we are going to be joined by various people at various times, and we'll start by welcoming in Nathan Ernst at Nathan11. Nathan, how you feeling, man? How you feeling about this April 25th, 2024 Seahawks first round of the NFL draft?
Feeling good. Feels foolproof. So excited to have just jinxed it, and they'll draft, Penix at 16 or something stupid like that. But yeah, I think I'm excited, and it feels good. I think we're gonna come away with something really cool tonight.
And you are maybe not going to be here for the actual Seahawks pick. What's your availability that we should be expecting?
I will have to bail about, I don't know, 5:45, and I will probably not be back until 7:15. So I imagine I'm going to be frantically refreshing Twitter around the Seahawks pick as I'm trying to coach a second grade girls basketball team. So it'll be great.
Hey, well, good luck on that. That might be right around the time the Seahawks pick, by the way. I think pick 17 last year was around like 7:30, 7:40,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
So it's possible you could be back in time. So we'll take all of you that we can, and we are also joined tonight by our draft expert. Nobody has put more time into breaking down film on these players than Evan Hill at Evan Hill HB. Evan, man, it's so good. I'm so glad that you were able to join us tonight because honestly, your reactions, whatever they are the things that I remember year after year. So how are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm shockingly not that nervous right now. I don't know if it's a lack of like expectations or not knowing what to expect. But yeah, I'm surprisingly calm right now. I mean, are you guys feeling the same? Do you guys feel anxious, or where you guys at?
I feel a little bit, I'm like at a 2 out of 10, I guess, on the nervous energy scale. And I was probably about a 0 out of 10 minutes ago. So, it's amped up a little bit. Seeing the draft starting, knowing that moves are potentially going to be made, I was taking care of my son. So I didn't hear John Schneider's show, which I think is very odd that he did that. But people in chat are saying it seems very clear they're going to trade back. So maybe I don't know if he said something in that show that you guys caught that I missed. But anyway, so I think this is a very, very difficult draft to navigate for the Seahawks. It can be very simple if they just don't do a bunch of trades. But if you're really trying to go from being a mediocre team to a team that's like really ascending, it's a really difficult draft to navigate. So that's the part that I will certainly be reacting to as we go. How about you, Nathan?
Just in terms of nerves, or
yeah, like where are you at feelings wise going into this?
yeah, I'm like a 1 or a 0. I kind of feel differently. Like I don't know that this is a hard draft for them to navigate.
Say more.
This is overall just a really good class, and they're at 16, and then there's so many quarterbacks that are potentially going to go ahead of them. So like Yeah, I've said this, I think on most of the podcasts now that we've done around the draft. Like, I think they're going to have like 5 guys. Like, I think Byron Murphy and Jared Verse and like Fountaino or Fuaga or like all of these guys are going to be there. And we'll be able to, like, 5 years from now, we'll yell and scream about the guy they didn't take, or if they trade down, there's some chance, right? If they bet on Chop Robinson over Jared Verse and that doesn't work, like, sure, there's all these ways that this doesn't work out, but like, it just feels like there's a lot of possibilities and they're all good. So, I mean, we can argue about what we think is the best, but I don't. What is the, like? I joked about Penix, but like not really. I think Penix is like a disaster scenario, or Bo Nix would be a disaster scenario. But beyond that, like, what is the thing that they do that's like, oh, this is just the worst thing ever?
I think that I don't know. I'm not going to say it's the worst thing ever. I think that
Sure, but
the danger area of this draft is trading into the mid to late 20s or 30s. I think that the return you would get would not be that great. And you'd be picking, I think, a significantly lower shelf of prospect at that point, which would put a lot of pressure on the rest of your picks to be even better. So, and I think that that's a very possible John Schneider move to make. And I don't think there's a lot of guys in that range that are really worth taking in that range. So that's where I think the badness can come from. If they stick and pick at 16, I'd agree with you. I think they almost can't go wrong there. Even if they drafted, like Daniel Jeremiah said, Terrion Arnold, and everyone's like, what the hell, a cornerback, or Kenyon Mitchell. What the hell? They don't need another cornerback. Those guys are both excellent football players at a position that matters. And Trey Brown's going to be a free agent next year. And. So I'm not saying that's my first choice, but I could get behind that. But if you're going back to 25 and you're picking, I don't know, like some of the guys that are available there, I'm not going to be excited. So,
and I guess, like, it's gonna be hard to pass on some of these really exciting guys, but like, if John Schneider's LJ Collier pick this year is Marshawn Nealand, I'm actually excited about that still. Like, I'm gonna have very conflicted feelings, but like, that dude's a lot of fun. And like, or if I don't know who else, Graham Barton's probably not, going at 28 or something like that if you were to trade all the way down to the Lions or something. But I think those guys are still super interesting and maybe on par with what you would find in the 16 to 20 range in a lot of normal drafts.
Yeah, I want to read for you guys some of John Schneider's comments today. And
this is from 710, the interview.
Yeah, it's from his interview. And
I did hear that was pre-recorded, by the way.
That makes more sense. True. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
So he says he's been on the phone getting caught up, trying to get a sense of the landscape in the league, trying to find those with safe landing zones if things go a certain way. Fine, whatever. That's nothing. Says one difference working with Macdonald as opposed to Pete Carroll is that they haven't had quite as many deep dives on players as before. That like, I'm going to overreact to that for a second. If you have 3 coaches really that are fresh out of college that have 2 of the universities that have the most players in this draft, and you spent less time than normal with your coaches, you are not doing your job. That is an idiotic thing if that's really true. Sorry. That's just super egotistical. I mean, please, God, use your resources.
Well, the good thing is we don't have any other evidence that John's super egotistical or very full of himself right now. So
I like John Schneider a lot. I like him as a person. I'm happy he's our GM. I'm not thrilled with some of the way things have gone down. Some of the signs of the way things have gone down this offseason.
So can I
all right.
Can I clear up etiquette for a real quick second here? So
yes.
The Zoom thing's a disaster, so we're just scrapping that. Can we have YouTube TV up on the side or not?
For us?
Yeah, for us.
Yeah. Let's all pick a channel that we're watching. Okay. I like ESPN.
At ESPN.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
So
the one I have.
let's lock in on ESPN on our own look. I'll have that off on one screen. But when it comes down to getting close to Seahawks pick time, then we will do what we did last year, which is we will go to private chats. We'll get out of it. We won't see the live comment thread. We will close everything down. And we will. What did we do? We just watched one. We just watched our own.
Just like
No,
turned
TVs.
off Twitter.
And then in the chat, just say when you know the pick.
Okay. Yeah. I think we did something like that. All right. Let me continue with Bob Condota.
Should we introduce that lovely voice we just heard, or no?
I will.
Probably.
I will. He came on in the middle of this, so we got plenty of time. Schneider says that, quote, maybe 8 times where Carroll interjected on a specific potential draft pick saying, quote, I don't see it like that at all, and I kind of see it like this. Worth noting, Schneider made mention of trading back and then laughingly corrected himself. Read into everything what you will. We'll find out soon enough. I don't know. I didn't have a chance to read it or hear it, so up to all of us to decide how much to weigh and how much to take that as face value. As Nathan put it, we have a lovely voice and face joining us, and he is the underscore, the other underscore in the crew. Derek at DERYCKG _. All of those things is the guy that just joined us. Derek, how you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. I see you rocking the Huskies purple and gold.
Gotta rep it.
So
how many
how are you
Huskies
feeling
do you
about
think go in the
how
first
you feeling
round?
about the draft tonight?
I'm excited. A
You're
little nervous.
excited.
A little nervous, but excited. How
We
many?
were all
say-
low on the nerves rating. I think we
Let's
were
say,
all like,
let me ask this real quick. How many Huskies do we think go in round 1 tonight?
Is it potentially 4?
Fautanu,
Odunze for sure.
Adunze.
Penix,
I think
maybe.
Penix is going.
And then isn't there like a guard from UW too or something?
think
Nah,
Rosengarten's
Rosengarten
kinda
could.
wild
The
card.
other options are Rosengarten and Poke, maybe.
Trice.
Trice. That seems crazy,
I'd be
but
surprised.
possible.
I'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
So five feels like the at least from general public consensus the highest.
1. You're getting
You think one's gonna go?
Husky. 1. Polk's not syncing up. Fautanu's falling out of the first round because of his knee. Penix is falling out of the first round because he's old and his medicals and he's not super accurate. It's just Rome. It's just Rome. He's gonna go top 10, and then there's not gonna be another one until the second round.
All right.
Do you really have to stick around till quarter? No, I'm just giving you shit. I'm just giving you shit.
I have been too cowardly to get this takeoff, but I'm gonna do it now. I really don't think Fautana is going in the first round.
Really?
He's gonna go 12th overall now. I'm gonna look like a big idiot, but I think age, and I think he's got a medical thing, and I think he's just overrated. I think he's a good player, but I don't know. I don't think he's what he's. And Jeff's gonna, like, if Jeff was here, he'd yell at me because he thinks he's a top 10 prospect. But yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say not a first rounder.
Do you guys see
Definitely-
that?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, did you guys see that AJ Brown deal that just got extended? 3 years,
Yeah.
96 million right before the draft start. It's crazy. 32 million a year, $84 million in total guarantees. It's crazy.
It's a lot of money, a lot of cheddar. I missed a super chat before from Corey Hickok. Thank you, Corey. Says, Brian, thanks for all the great content this past month. Has made the time fly by. Well, appreciate it, Corey. And thank you for being a YouTube member. As you can see, Corey's got the little emblem next to his name. You can get one of those. All you got to do is sign up and be a YouTube member as well. The link is pinned to the chat and it's in the description of the video. So go ahead and do that. And I think the Fautanu thing's an interesting one, man, because the medical stuff did come late, and we've seen some funky things happen when medicals come out late. It's not the craziest thing. I think the other thing that could mean is that the Seahawks could trade back maybe into the mid-20s and get him instead of not having an option of getting him before. So another piece.
Maybe that's the how far back can you go thing that John's trying to figure out.
Yeah, exactly. So Trey reminds me that last year what we did is we had the ESPN site up and we shared that and we watched
Yep.
the actual pick show up on that. We didn't even watch TV. We just watched that together. We all saw it at the same time. I think we were smart back then. I think that's a good way to
It's a way better way to do it.
I think it's I think we put more thought into it last year. The Bears are on the clock, by the way, if people didn't know. There's
Pick is
10
in.
minutes.
Pick is in.
Pick
just
is
came
in. We don't care as much about tipping these earlier picks.
I think it's Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I
think
mean,
it's
I'm not,
Caleb Williams too.
I vote we still not tip it, honestly. I know this one's obvious, but
I'm fine with that.
I'm not going to check Twitter when the pick gets put in.
I am going to be updating the Hawk Blogger 2024 draft prediction game in real time. So we're going to get to see that scoreboard update. So, and if you're going to try to fix your picks, it's too late. It's locked in.
It's locked in.
Nobody should be able to edit anything at this point. You should be completely locked out.
I can still open it though, yeah.
You should be able to open it. You should not be able to edit it.
Caleb Williams doesn't look like someone who's about to get picked first overall. I don't know if anyone else like.
I mean, I don't think this is. I think this is a guy that's made millions already and has seen this for himself. And I don't get the feeling that this is like the big moment for him. But you're right. I mean, he doesn't look like a guy who's really emotional about what's about to happen. Did Mel Kiper ever publish his mock draft? I saw he published his top 100 or something, but I wasn't sure if I saw a mock draft from him. His final one.
I didn't see it.
So
it's all behind the
they have
paywall
picked.
for me. So.
They have picked.
Yeah.
Do you know the Bears have never had a quarterback throw 30 touchdowns in a year?
What? Not even
That's
Cutler?
impressive.
Never.
I was gonna say Cutler had a couple good seasons there where I thought he would have hit that.
All right. This is the moment. This is a big moment for me, not for anyone else. I just updated the 2024 draft prediction game spreadsheet and put in the first pick and seeing if scoring actually updated. It did. It did beautifully. Love it.
Can we say? Can we tip? Is it official?
Caleb Williams. Absolutely. Why did it not? Sorry. Somehow, of all the people, my spreadsheet's not scoring correctly. Why? Oh, I think I know what's going on. Okay.
Hey, Evan, earlier you were asking if there's a big board.
Yeah.
If you go to ESPN, they have a best available tab. I can put it in our private chat here.
Okay. Thank you. I'm excited for the Bears with him. He's I just like that he paints his fingernails, honestly, and pisses everybody off.
I
think
can't
that's
believe they were taught. There was those anonymous NFL scout quotes. Like he's like, if Prince was a quarterback, and they meant it as a bad thing. Like this is amazing. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, different demographic for sure. I'm curious what you guys all think of Caleb Williams. Forget like reacting to how everyone else feels about him. Like I'll share at least. I would pick him number 1 overall. I would do that. I think he's clearly got generational level skills. I I have some question about his ability to function within like the framework of an offense and actually not just always improvise. He makes the most Sports Center highlight clip kind of plays you're going to see off platform throws and under pressure, and he puts it on the nose, all that kind of stuff. But I'm a little curious if he can like do that. I have some curiosity about him as a leader and as a guy that's going to be all about the work and being a great player. The way I think guys like Patrick Mahomes are not just talented, he's also incredibly committed to what he does and at like another level from a competitive standpoint. I don't think he's as much of a sure thing as some people say. Still think he's the number 1 overall pick, but that's kind of where I have some questions. I'm kind of curious where you guys are on him.
Do we have evidence of him or reports of him not being disciplined with football and stuff? Like, did he miss meetings and stuff in college, or I genuinely don't know.
No,
did he?
I don't think there was any of that.
Because that's where my concern would be. But I think honestly, I'm not saying you're saying this, Brian, but I've seen some of the reactions on Twitter with him like crying in games and stuff. I just don't buy it. Like, I don't know. I mean, we got Tariq Woolen's fucking skipping meetings over here in year 3. You know what I mean? And he was an all-pro corner, and that's not defending Tariq, by the way, at all. I don't know. I don't think we have enough evidence to for me to feel strongly about that. So.
There's maybe a fair question of like how he relates to the average NFL player. But yeah, I think
like a locker room perspective, or
just the same thing where you have NFL scouts comparing him to Prince, and that's bad. Is that NFL players may lean that way as well, and so can he relate and lead from that perspective? Maybe there's some fair questions there, but because when they lost to UW, they'd already lost 1 or 2 games so far that year, right?
Maybe even 3.
Yeah.
No, it was.
And you could still tell, he went up and jumped in the stands and hugged his mom and was crying. It still meant a ton to him to win. And I know that's been held against him too, but clearly he's passionate about and cares about winning, even at a team that at that point was clearly didn't really have anything in particular to play for.
I'm worried about his fumbles for sure. He has a fumble problem. I mean, I think it was 16 or something over his career. It's pretty serious.
Let's turn our attention to the Commanders, who are up here at number 2. And Caleb Williams was the least controversial number 1 overall pick you could have. The Commanders, Dan Quinn.
Sorry to cut you off.
Dan Quinn, new coach. Adam Peters, new GM, new owner, right? And there was a lot of folks that thought that Drake May was going to be the 2nd overall pick. Jaden Daniels has rocketed up the boards as the consensus number 2 overall pick. Any thoughts?
I think it's going to be Daniels.
What do you think about those 2 quarterbacks?
I think they both have their concerns. Daniels, I'm a little more concerned about. It is like Caleb Williams, even more, freedom, even more breaking out of the pocket unnecessarily, even more running around, getting hit. Some of the hits Jaden Daniels took were nasty. So, and he's kind of a slight build. I think he's 210 pounds, but he's 6'4". I'd have some concerns, not only from that longevity standpoint, but also him playing out of structure so much means he's going to get hit more.
I have the same thought with him. Everyone talks about some of these other quarterbacks and their injury risk. I think Jaden Daniels is a massive injury risk. I mean, I don't know if he can take the hits he took in college in the NFL and hope to play a long career. Would you have gone Drake May here if you had the number 2 overall pick?
Yeah, I think so.
I love Drake May, but I think I've kind of Yeah. Well, see, that's just the sheer talent, though. The physical talent was Daniels. I might go Daniels, even though I really like May.
We have the second pick in. It is Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels. I initially had Drake May in there, and I changed it. And as of right now, all this is updating. Brandon Thomas. We'll have to figure out what's going on with his scores, but right now it's 0. Ben Solak did not get that right. I've got some celebrity entries in there. And
Celebrity is a strong word.
comparatively, he had Drake May going second. So
Interesting.
Some of you are already ahead of the well-known Benjamin Solak, the quarterback whisperer.
This is where the draft starts then.
This is. I want to welcome Rylan as a new member on YouTube. Thank you, Rylan, for joining. Great to have you. I have this pick getting traded. That is the not likely outcome. But it is the absolute right move. It is the stupidest thing in the world for the Patriots to keep this and pick a quarterback. They could get 3 first-round picks 2 this year and still potentially trade back up into the top 10 and get JJ McCarthy or whoever else is their secondary quarterback option. They are not ready to just add a quarterback and have that be their only pick in the first round, and have that be enough.
Brian, have you looked at the Vikings? Would 11 and 23, would that get them to
11 and 23 should. It's actually an overpay for the second overall pick. But there's been people saying that the Vikings have floated not only those 2 picks, but their first next year.
Doesn't surprise me because you're now at QB3, and this is kind of the cliff, right? Depending on how teams really feel like JJ McCarthy. If a lot of teams don't like him, this is the cliff on the QB. So that price is going to be steep to get the final top tier QB.
People are saying that Robert Kraft is basically running the draft room. That's not usual.
Their GM situation is very strange.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. He's like temping for them. Rent to own a GM job.
What does his business card say?
Assistant to the regional GM.
I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share. I'm going to share.
The pick is in for New England.
The pick's in.
Oh.
All right. So no go for me on that one.
They were talking about that pick being a trade back for like forever, weren't they?
Yeah.
Anybody but the owner, and the owner being an old fuddy-duddy, like they would trade it. But everyone's like, no, he's going to want to get the quarterback now. And so that's what they're doing, it sounds like.
Are they gonna chase the Brady legacy and go get a Michigan championship quarterback?
If they do that, that is disaster.
Very funny. Yeah.
Let me go try to find someplace else that I can share on screen, because ESPN's is just so loaded with ads. It's just annoying, man. Okay, this is not great, but it's better. Let me see if I can delete some ads off the screen here. So, Patriots pick is in. Are we all assuming that this is Drake May?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Who do you expect it to be? You think it might be JJ McCarthy?
It could be, right?
That would be hilarious, man. That would be really funny.
What if they go best player available?
Could
Who would that be? Marvin Harrison?
Could be.
I think it's probably May.
think so.
Who do they have at quarterback right now?
Mac. Wait, no, he's left.
No, they traded Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Where did he go, by the way?
Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, I think behind Trevor Lawrence. I was seeing memes about quarterback battles over there.
All right. I'm going to try to share my screen, share this so we can have a draft order being shared. Let's see how this works. Stick with me, folks. Share, present. Oh, man. No matter how many of these I Chrome tab. Let's see that. There we go. How's that look? There we go. So I will try to get rid of some of these ads, but we'll probably just have to put up with them.
It is. Wow.
Do you know who
Did
it
it
is?
announce the pick on your guys' side?
It did.
Yeah,
Drake
I announced
May.
it on YouTube TV. Yeah.
Drake
that-
May is the pick for the New England Patriots. I mean, I've been obviously saying what I think. What do you guys think? Nathan, do you think that that's the smart move? Should they have traded it, gone a different direction?
You know, like, yeah, trading down and jumping back up and doing that stuff, like, that's the smart thing to do probably, but not also just a given. You don't know that you can get back up. And so, you know, if you love Drake May, take your quarterback, right?
Because anyone who is coming up for number 3 is probably grabbing May. So I think you're only trading down in the scenario where you feel real comfortable with JJ McCarthy.
How do you, Evan, can we get a comment on the fit check here for Drake May? How did you feel about his draft night outfit?
I saw it for like a brief second. I didn't see anything weird. My broadcast is still showing highlights of him. Is it on Twitter or something?
No. He just was on the
baby blue suit, right?
Yeah.
Like the North
I thought you'd have some opinions.
Was it a weird looking outfit or something?
No. I mean,
yeah, actually, his pants were too long. They were beyond a 5-inch inseam, and it's almost summertime. So, fat L, buddy, fat L. Next time, shop at Chubby's before your draft selection.
Tell me this. If the logic here is that the owner, Robert Kraft, does not want to wait to get his quarterback, he's too old. He doesn't want to wait around. He wants to win now. Is getting Drake May their fastest path to being a winning team?
I think so.
You think
so?
What's
your timeline? What's your timeline in that scenario?
I mean,
5 years?
I mean, if he hits, yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, you can turn this franchise around in 2 years if he hits.
Like, even the people that love CJ Stroud, I don't think anyone thought he was going to turn them into a playoff team in a year.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Texans have done lots of stuff beyond just him, but.
So the Cardinals are on the clock. We got NFC West on the clock. I am curious.
Yeah, these comments on the right side are staying hidden. Chatter, you're staying hidden.
You're turning them off. Okay. Do you guys expect the Cardinals to stick and pick? Take Marvin Harrison Jr.? Do you think that someone's going to try to trade up there?
I feel like.
I think they stick. It's curious. There's only 4 minutes left on the clock, though.
Well, doesn't it
how much time do they get? They get like 5 minutes now.
10.
Right?
I think it's 10 minutes for the first round.
10 minutes.
So they've been on for 6 minutes.
No,
it's 10 minutes.
The entire first round.
The entire first round is 10 minutes. So if they're all and sticking down even further now, that usually indicates they may be listening to some trade offers.
The Bears ran it down this far too, though. So
I thought
that's for TV, Nathan.
The Cardinals last year were smart in the moves that they made. I don't think they were smart in who they took. like they ended up moving around the board and getting more draft capital, but they ended up with, I don't think, particularly great players out of all that maneuvering. And so if they, the pick is in.
The pick is in.
I think that like from a GM, if you're like trying to just not get fired, you pick Marvin Harrison and you don't get cute. Like he's as clear of a eval of a prospect as there's been in a long time. He's more clear than Caleb Williams.
Is there a chance they take like a tackle, like a Joe Alt? Is that possible?
Well, that's who they took left tackle last year, right?
Paris Johnson, right?
But isn't
Yeah,
he not good? I thought he didn't play well his rookie year.
No, he's not. He did not play particularly well. But I think, did they play him at right tackle? I can't remember. I'll have to go back and check. But I mean, this has been pretty clearly Marvin Harrison, who also looks very emotional about the situation.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
So far, I mean, we're expecting maybe a little bit of fireworks with trades and stuff. As of now, seems like nothing, right? The Chargers are next. If they don't trade, that would be a real surprise, right? If the Chargers stick and pick,
I think there's a good chance they stick and pick.
This.
They need a receiver. They need a tackle.
If the Chargers stick and pick, they're not going to take a quarterback.
No.
And then all of a sudden the Giants will be sitting there with McCarthy potentially up there. This is where the draft really starts to get potentially interesting. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the pick for the Cardinals. Welcome to the NFC West for Marvin Harrison Jr.
So this is
so glad. I'm so glad the Seahawks drafted Devin Witherspoon last year.
Yeah.
That hurts. Nathan Ernst. Nathan, you've fallen down the scoreboard, man. See what you had wrong on this. I got to look you up. You had JJ McCarthy going to the Patriots. So you missed May. So that
I think I had the rest right, didn't I?
I think so. Yep. You're just you're 5 points behind. You and Eric Edholm are tied with 19.
For first?
Not for first.
Okay.
Not for first. Let me see. There's a couple folks I'm gonna have to fix here. What do you guys think about Marvin Harrison joining the NFC West? How much do you think that that's going to change things for the Cardinals? He's had DeAndre Hopkins, who's I don't think the same player as Marvin Harrison, but what do you think of Marvin Harrison joining Kyler Murray?
They had Hopkins when they had Cliff. And I don't think Cliff was maximizing DeAndre Hopkins. So it doesn't feel good. Like he's a really good player. But I don't know. It's also it's whatever. It's the Cardinals. I'm kind of Cashman, cover your ears. I just am not that scared of Kyler Murray at this point or that team in general.
No, but the matchups with Devin Witherspoon should be fun, right?
Mm-hmm. And Terry and Arnold.
That one for a while.
Is that your Seahawks projection, Nathan?
I don't know. All of a sudden, everyone's picking cornerback for him, which is kind of interesting. I think he fits really well. You can throw a third cornerback in there, and it'll work just fine. So it's certainly possible.
Just like Cooper DeJean. Just
to be clear, guys, Josh Cashman in the chat has been telling everybody that Pete Carroll's joining the show tonight. He's not joining the show tonight. So he's not a guest.
You know what, folks?
Second round tomorrow.
If you are listening to Josh Cashman, then you get everything that you deserve. So believe what you choose to believe. It is a misleading world out there. So choose your information sources carefully. So, yeah, I'm kind of with you, Nathan. I think Marvin Harrison's going to be great. Mm-hmm. I think he's an incredible player. I don't mind getting to watch him a couple times a year. I don't think that the Cardinals have to prove it to me. And honestly, I know Josh is a huge Kyler Murray fan. Speaking of Josh, I don't believe in Kyler Murray at all. I think he's got an absolute ceiling, and it's low, not just because he's short. I don't think he's the guy. So I'm not concerned about the Cardinals as long as he's their quarterback. If they had made the decision to go in after quarterback, I might feel differently about that team.
I mean, they can be playoff competitive with him.
Oh, sure.
But I agree with you. Like, they're not going to win a Super Bowl with him. Unless the team surrounding him is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Jagan I says, let's say we go cornerback. Would you rather have Kenyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, or Terrion Arnold? Where do you guys all fit on that one?
I will be honest, I did not watch cornerbacks.
Yeah, exactly. I watched a lot of things that I thought they would do, and cornerback wasn't one of them. So I don't have a strong opinion. I did watch
Terrion Arnold.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I watched a little bit of Mitchell, and he's fun. He seemed really handsy, though, like really grabby.
Yeah, Terrion Arnold, to me, is he's the most physical of the corners, and I think that matters in Mike Macdonald's defense. And so I like Terrion Arnold. Kenyon Mitchell, everything I've seen and read about him is that the actual defense that he played in was the most NFL style defense in terms of the coverages he was asked to play at Toledo, and had Cody Alexander on from matchquarters.com, who knows this much better than any of us probably ever will. And he went pretty deep on the fact that Kenyon Mitchell is just, he ran a 4.3. Terrion Arnold was the de facto number one corner, and then he ran a 4.5, which is not like slow, but it's not a 4.3. And so Kenyon Mitchell, part of what Cody Alexander said was the NFL has been moving steadily away from man coverage. It was 30% a few years back. It's now down to like 19, 18%. And that's affecting what they're asking from their cornerbacks. And that actually people have been hammering on Cooper DeJean. Oh, he just plays a lot of zone coverage. And Cody Alexander is like, that is what's going on in the NFL right now. That is like being able to keep the play in front of you and break on the ball and be aware of how to handle different zone coverages is a big part of that position right now. And so guys that are coming into the league with that have a leg up. And he talked about Kenyon Mitchell being the best of breed across the different types of coverages that you need to play in the NFL. So either of those guys, I think Mitchell or Arnold would be interesting. I lean a little toward Arnold because my theme for this whole draft for the Seahawks is, are you making the team tougher? Are you making the team tougher? Are you going to be pushed around, or are you going to push someone around? And Terrion Arnold is going to push people around. So I lean that direction.
Who do
Josh
we think,
Cashman, I'm putting him on screen here. Like any other paying YouTube member. Great show as usual, Brian. I speak for everyone when I say we're excited to hear from Pete Carroll tonight. Yeah. Well, Josh, you've got the connections, right, dude? You're going to work that out for us.
Oh, my God. Wait, so who's at... Wait, so the Giants are at number 6.
Yeah, that says the Chargers pick is in.
Pick is in.
I'm assuming the Chargers are not taking a quarterback.
So if the Chargers are not trade, I was certain that they were going to trade this. If they're not going to trade this,
is JJ McCarthy going to be a Giant?
I think he could be.
Oh my God. I would kill myself if I was a Giants fan.
Oh my God. So much. It'd be hilarious. So who do you think the Chargers are taking? Could they shock and take Joe Alt? And
that's who I had in my mock draft, was Joe Alt.
Pulling him out of the Titans' laps? Do they go Malik Neighbors? Like a lot of people had them. I think the odds was that they were going to take a receiver. I have them taking Rome Odunze. Actually, this is Chargers. I was thinking Giants. Never mind. Yeah. So offensive line. Some people had him taking J.C. Latham all the way up here.
Yeah, you see Latham going really high sometimes. But over Alt would be
Could they take a
shock.
receiver?
The receiver's definitely in
could.
play. I think it's Neighbors at all.
Why would I think it's I mean, Jim Harbaugh has said nothing other than offensive line is the way you build a team. They have a clear need at tackle. You have to wonder. So, who are you guys thinking before it gets announced?
I'm going receiver.
I think it's all.
I agree. Alt.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be Latham, just to be different.
I'm not gonna say it.
Evan, do you know?
Yeah, can I say
Joe
it?
Alt.
Joe
There
Alt.
we go. That's
Good
Jeff Simmons
call.
just lost some money because he put money on him going to the Titans.
Wait, is that Joe Alt's sister or girlfriend? That's really
Oh,
important.
Evan.
I'm sorry.
Why do you ask, Evan?
No comment. No comment.
That's his mom.
Stop.
All right. This is where the draft starts getting off of what the consensus has been. No trade so far. Joe Alt. This means that the Vikings are not looking to be aggressive and moving up.
Yeah. It's possible that, Patriots were going to stick and pick. They wanted May. They weren't going to listen to trade offers. And now it's really in the Giants' hands if they want McCarthy. But
please
it's
take
possible,
him.
it's
So
possible the Vikings are stuck. And if they're stuck and they don't like McCarthy, then that trade up that they made well in advance with the idea of being in position to move up into the top 3, top 4 starts to look not so great.
Essentially, what they're doing is they're ahead of Denver and Los Angeles. So
Yep.
The only other team that would potentially take a quarterback is the Giants, right?
Yeah, for the next few picks, you got the Falcons. They're good with Kirk Cousins. Bears just picked. Jets have Aaron Rodgers. So
Vikings
it's
are
the
kind of
Giants.
sitting pretty unless someone moves up to the Giants pick or one of these other Tennessee. Maybe they look to trade down now that Alt's off the board. But what's happening is Rome Odunze, Malik Neighbors are starting to slide a little bit.
Brian, who'd you have in your mock for the Giants?
I had Rome Odunze.
That's what I had as well.
I feel like he is a Giants style receiver.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm looking at what I think the Giants should do, I would have gone quarterback. But I wouldn't go JJ McCarthy. Yeah. So at this point, if that's what you're stuck with, I probably like the receivers are very special. I don't know if there's offensive line they desperately need. If Joe Alt was there, I think that would have been a better pick. But I mean, do you take Latham up here? Do you take Fuaga up here? I don't know if any of those guys belong at the 6th pick. The pick is in for the Giants.
I mean, could they go receiver?
Who?
The Giants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people have them taking Malik Neighbors.
Is that the next receiver on the board?
Him or Odunze. Yeah.
Yeah.
6 foot. He's 199 pounds. Wow.
Yeah, he's a specimen for sure. If I nailed it with Odunze, I'll feel that's a non-standard answer. It sounds like you had that as well, Derek.
I did. Brian, is the scoring not updating on the spreadsheet? Oh, there it is.
Should be.
What spreadsheet?
We have a spreadsheet of people, a bunch of people, members and patrons picking the first round, every pick. And so I have a scoring sheet I'm updating with every pick to see who's leading in terms of selecting this first round correctly.
Wait, why are they showing?
They're showing JJ McCarthy.
They're just camming to him.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on right now?
I think that's his girlfriend, Evan. Sisters don't sit that close.
Yeah,
I don't think.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Now they're showing Neighbors.
I mean, it depends. Like, are they done with Daniel Jones? Are they giving him like one more shot?
They're paying him $40 million a year.
Yeah, they're locked into that contract for at least this season. If
Yeah, they
not
can get
next
out of it
season as
next
well.
year, it sounds
Next season?
like.
Okay.
Okay.
They got Drew Lock. What else did they need, man?
It's
Jeez.
true.
I mean, I think going Malik Neighbors would be a mistake.
Why?
I just don't think that they have a good enough quarterback to take advantage of a receiver like that. And you've got a terrible offensive line who can't protect anybody. And you just lost Saquon Barkley, who's your best offensive. Yeah, that's where they go, Malik Neighbors.
Wow.
I mean, he's the best. I think he arguably is the best player available. So I don't think that's crazy.
It's definitely not crazy. I was just hoping for chaos
Yeah.
and like JJ to not be available for my team.
The prognosticated chaos is not occurring.
Yeah. What happened to all this? Like, there will be trades, chaos.
That was the message for the last couple of days.
Josh, sure, bro.
Josh is taking the lazy route to participating in this stream. He doesn't want to be on screen. He just wants to get in.
Josh, join the show. You have the link, you nerd. Show your face, okay? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna text him right now.
Well, you know, he's a paying YouTube member. He can do whatever he wants. Josh, you're always invited.
But our viewership will go up if he shows his face. So,
what are you saying, man?
Josh is a hottie. That's what I'm saying.
It is true. So okay, so now Tennessee's on the clock. Do they go receiver? I mean, that would make some sense as well.
Who's the best? Odunze is probably the best guy.
Odunze would be he's part of the big three at receiver. But what's starting to happen, if they don't go offensive line, then you're starting to have these tackles push down. Look at that. Josh is supporting the show every possible way. He's a patron and a YouTube member. Love that kid. So Daniel Jones passing to Malik Neighbors. What's the over under on how many games before Malik Neighbors is pouting about the quarterback play?
Might be pretty quick.
I mean, first practice. I mean, Brian Dable, I still think is a quality offensive coordinator. I know he's the coach, but I think he's a good.
I think that's the key word, though, is that he's a quality offensive coordinator. His management skills may be lacking.
Yeah, they're rough, for sure.
Could they trade out?
They definitely could.
Have a lot of holes across the roster.
The thing with Tennessee is they just got Cincinnati's OC as their new coach, Callahan, and they took his dad, who was the offensive line coach in the Browns, and basically considered the best offensive line coach in the league. He was let out of his contract by the Browns only because he wanted to work with his son.
Got it.
So they've got a great offensive line coach.
I will.
The question is, are they going to give him an offensive lineman to work with, or are they going to ask him to coach someone else up?
I think you're giving him offensive lineman. I don't think you make that move without the idea of we are fixing this offensive line no matter what. I had them going Troy Fautanu here in my mock. Brian, do you think J.C. Latham is a more likely option?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I don't necessarily like him better, but yeah, he could be. What do you think?
Yeah, it seems like some people are higher on Latham. I mean, Nathan talked about before he jumped off that I saw him at 5 in a couple mocks. So I think the league may have a better view on Latham than the outsiders. And the pick is in.
Heavy favorite has been that they would go offensive line.
The issue is it was Joe Alt. It was always
Joe Alt. So I think the next best thing might be to get Rome Odunze. I think that might be my best guess here is that they go Odunze and give Will Levis another receiver because their receiving core is not great. They've got DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins is not what he was, clearly.
Pick is in, it looks like.
Pick is in.
It is.
I think this is going to be the first Husky off the board. That's my guess. I think Rome Odunze goes right here.
That's such a cool name. Have you ever thought about how that's just a cool name? Like, it's fun to say.
Yeah.
The vibes are good on that one.
Well, he could be paired with Caleb Williams at pick 9.
Yeah, I had that
at one point. He's not taken here.
I had that at one point.
Because the Falcons widely thought Dallas Turner is the pick there.
Oh, these commercials.
Yeah.
I mean, the first round is kind of flying by. I really thought I was going to predict this is going to be the longest first round ever because every time they trade, it resets the clock. And I just thought there was going to be a ton of trades. At this point, Seahawks might be picking in like half an hour, 45 minutes. I mean, it could come up real fast.
I think they were originally projected like 7:15 or something, right? But it seems like it's going to be.
That's what it was last year.
It might. I mean, there was a number of trades last year, though. Remember, like, there was 5 trades in the first round last year in the top. Well, at least 2 or 3 of those were in the back half of the first round, but there's at least 3 trades in the first 15 picks.
Fremont Brewing, great beer, title track. You guys did a collab with Beechwood. It's an India Pale Ale.
An IPA?
Yeah, West Coast IPA. This is a good one. You guys are lowering my anxiety while we wait for Seattle to come up on the clock. Have you guys been to Fremont Brewing at all? Or brewery at all?
I have not.
It is down the street from where I used to work. So yeah, I've been there plenty.
They're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, good little spot. I wish they had more food options, but that's just, I'm more of a food guy than a drink guy. That's just too.
Ryan, are you a brewery guy like normally?
I used to be like be way into all the microbrew culture and the PNW. I don't drink that much, honestly, other than on game days and maybe golfing.
The older I get, the more I'm like screw traditional bars type of thing. Brewery culture is way more relaxing.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I mean, I will always be happy to go into a brewery, even if I'm not going to be drinking a lot.
My new rule is if I have to scream to have a conversation with you, I am not going.
You're getting
what
older,
I'm saying?
Dude. You're getting
Bro, I'm
older.
getting
I'm proud of you.
Old. I'm getting old.
This is good.
It's true. Derek, how old are you again?
I am 26.
No kidding.
Fountain of youth over there. Good Lord.
I didn't know he was younger than you, Evan.
Nah, Derek's a pipsqueak.
Well, Evan, you shared your beer. I'm having a Czech lager, so
love it. I love lagers.
I'm having a bottle of water.
Oh, come on, Mr. Healthy.
I got to cut some weight, man. I'm working on it. I'm not posting my pictures on Instagram, that's for sure.
You're not wearing 5-inch NC shorts like Evan?
No.
Who did they? Oh, they took I guess I'll wait for it.
Someone just asked me, did I work at a cannabis store? No. I have been in a cannabis store, but I have not worked at one. All right. JC Latham is the pick. they stick and pick. This is good news, honestly. A team trading in there and taking I don't want JC Latham. None of these players were players that I thought had any chance of being Seahawks. So let's have these guys get pushed down the board. JC Latham. One of the things here, Evan, I don't know if you saw this, probably not, but someone shared the history of Alabama offensive tackles over the last 10 years.
Okay.
It's not a pretty list. I'm going to see if I can actually pull it up.
Who was the guy that went to Jags out of Bama? He was a left tackle. It
was Cam Robinson.
He's good though, right?
I think he had a couple good years, and then I don't.
Did
think
he just fizzle
he's
out?
Fallen off a little bit.
Is he like? I have a dumb question. Is he still in the league?
Yes, he is, and he's good.
3-year deal. Okay, he's in the final year of a 3-year deal with the Jags. He's almost 30. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Okay, here I think maybe this is right. The 4 previous offensive tackles we drafted in the first round since Nick Saban have been coach. So
Pick is in for the Falcons too.
It is.
This is huge. Holy shit. I don't know why I'm wasting time looking at this stuff. Falcons pick is big. If this is not Byron Murphy, then the next 2 picks, the Falcons and the Bears, if they don't go Byron Murphy, he has a decent chance to slide all the way to Seattle.
Wait, Odunze is still available too.
Dallas Turner has kind of been the common guy here.
Dallas Turner he's the top edge available.
Edge rusher from Alabama. Yep.
Okay.
Chat's going crazy. I don't know if they're actually being honest. So.
Do not look at chat.
I did not.
Chatter is bad.
I have seen the pick.
Do not tell me.
The pick is in. Player interviews. What the heck?
Oh, it's going to be another 5 minutes probably before they show it on TV.
Chatter, I just see the red notifications ticking up. I'm not checking you. I'm not checking you out.
I'm not going to believe it until I see it show up here.
You're being left on red.
After this pick, I am going to go to private chat because I want to see the Bears thing. I don't want to get any tips.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are saying it. Holy shit. If this is real.
I mean, they
this,
just signed Kirk Cousins.
I know. So you did look.
No, I didn't. No, they're talking about JJ McCarthy on the broadcast.
Oh, I see.
And they're showing him.
They are.
Oh my God, JJ McCarthy! If he's selected to back up Kirk Cousins, that would be the most annoying ass.
Was everyone asked to wear the same shade? Was this
yeah, I don't know why they're all wearing sunglasses.
Penix, that fit check. If he drops to 16 and they don't take him and he's looking like that,
it's a good fit.
We deserve to lose. We deserve to lose.
What is taking so long? The pick is in. Tell us what the pick is. What is happening here? I want this to be true.
Oh my God, announce it.
If they go quarterback with having just signed Kirk Cousins.
And wasn't Kirk Cousins a 3-year deal? It was not a.
Yeah, it's not.
It wasn't a 1 year.
No, they're paying him a ton of money. I don't understand that.
That's why really no one mocked a quarterback to Atlanta because it's a 3-year deal.
He is coming off an Achilles injury, but still, is there any outs? I thought he had crazy guarantees.
No, it's like a fully guaranteed deal, is it not?
Yeah, that's
With
what
the
I
exception
thought.
of like
I'm
1
looking it
million.
up.
What if there's some crazy out in that deal?
There is an out. There is an out after 2 years. They would have $32 million in cap savings in year 3 if they cut him after 2 years.
This is going to be wild. I'm not watching anything but the screen right now. I was
No, I'm so
awesome.
sad about that. God dang it.
I love it, dude. I'm
That's
so excited for that guy.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. He deserves to be picked ahead of
No.
that piece of shit, JJ McCarthy, who did
100%.
nothing interesting. He deserves to be picked ahead of Bo Nix.
100%.
He deserves to be picked in the first round. He deserves to go in the top 10. He deserves to be in the position he's in. All the people that friggin' said, this guy's not a first round pick. He's a third rounder. He's a second rounder. Screw that, dude. This guy deserves it. I am so friggin' happy for him. That's awesome. I hope he succeeds. I hope he's fantastic there.
He's likely going to be successful there. Like, it's a very good environment for him behind Kirk Cousins. That offense
There's
is loaded.
the first piece of chaos of the draft.
That is really good news for the Seahawks, I gotta say.
It is.
Now
Wait, why is that good news though?
Because they weren't going to draft him. I don't think they were going to draft him.
So JJ McCarthy's going to be there at 16. I'm going to be sweating.
Don't you dare.
I think JJ.
That's where my mind went. My mind is that JJ's going to be sitting there. Mike Macdonald's going to get a little inch razor back in the draft room.
Dude, I am so excited.
I think JJ's getting taken between 11 and 13. JJ's going to be in one of those 3 spots, I think.
Bro.
Because that's the shock, is that it was Penix ahead of JJ. Absolutely.
If Byron Murphy does not go to the Bears, so the pick is in for the Bears. Who are the Bears going with?
Single.
I haven't seen it.
Got to be Odunze.
I think it's Odunze. You pair him with.
Don't check. Don't check chatter. Do not check.
Okay. All right. I'm turning off chat. Going to private chat. If it's Odunze, then who then becomes a Byron Murphy potential?
The Saints.
Maybe the Broncos. I don't think there's other teams that it makes sense. I think Byron Murphy really has a chance to fall to Seattle if he doesn't go to the Bears. But here's the fucking dang it.
Brian! I have not said it a single time.
This
entire podcast.
I couldn't stop it. It just happened. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Brian owes me a beer.
If they have Byron Murphy sitting for them, and they have Jared Verse sitting for them, and they have Troy Fautanu sitting for them, and they have Graham Barton, whatever, pick your guys. And then they trade out.
Oh, they're trading out if that's the scenario.
I will be not quite inconsolable, but if all the things happen that you need to happen for the best defensive tackle to slide to you and you don't take him, then you deserve whatever you're going to get.
I'd agree with that.
So I don't want to hear year after year after year, we're going to get tough. We're going to go the trenches. We're going to be pushing people around. We're going to be the bullies, not the bullied. And then have them go cornerback or have them go trade out and pass up on what could be a truly great defensive tackle.
I'm seeing that Byron Murphy even sometimes carries the ball on the goal line on offense. Is that true?
No. Tavondre Sweat lined up as a fullback a couple times, I believe. And I think he actually caught a touchdown, like a little jump pass once.
He did. Yeah.
And Murphy is an effective lead blocker who can even carry the ball and catch it on offense and goal line packages.
Okay.
I'm just telling you.
I stand corrected.
I'm in for that.
You know, Byron Murphy, Evan, he's got Aaron Donald's body. He's not Aaron Donald. He's not Aaron Donald. So I want to be really clear. I'm not saying he's Aaron Donald.
Okay,
But
hold
he's
up.
got
Bears
Aaron
are
Donald's
not-
body. He's short, but he is just built like a brick house.
There
And
it is.
Back-to-back Huskies.
You know what? Sorry to cut you off, Brian.
No, that's fine. I don't have the pick in yet, or I don't have the announce.
Oh.
So
It
Oh,
was on
Rome Tuesday.
YouTube TV, which is notoriously slow. So I assumed it was
Okay.
safe. There it is.
that's good news. That is good
Bears are-
news.
Bears are going to be fun, I think. Like,
They're going to be really. I mean, Roma
That's a really fun
Dunze,
combo.
it's a very
DJ
fun combo.
Moore, who's one of my favorite receivers anyway, and then they added Keenan Allen.
Yep.
One of the best receiving trios automatically right away in the NFL. And Cole Kmet's not a bad tight end. Their offensive line's a little bit of a mess, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That's
how
why
they're
that's why
gonna-
tackle was an option there. But with Alt and Latham gone, I think Odunze's the best player there.
So the Vikings go JJ McCarthy here, right? This works out perfectly for the Vikings. Oh, wait,
God, I hope
they
so.
traded.
They traded up with the
traded?
Jets. The
They
Jets were
traded with
10.
the Jets.
Wait, the Jets were at what?
10. They were 10.
Why would the
Jets were 10.
Vikings? Because somebody else was going to trade into that spot to snipe
They were
McCarthy.
probably worried about the Broncos or the Raiders moving.
So they
in.
moved up one spot.
They moved up one spot. So this has
What
got
did
to
they
be.
give up?
I have the
this is-
comp. I have the comp. It's
Yeah.
11. They gave up 11 and 129, which is a fourth rounder, for 157 and 10 and 203. So they did not give up almost anything.
That seems.
They just did that to make sure nobody sniped them. They've got to be going McCarthy here.
It's got to be a quarterback. Yep.
And then if that's the case,
Oh my God, you're getting close to Seattle.
we got to hope that Bo Nix goes to the Broncos.
Yep.
If that happens, if 6 quarterbacks go before the Seahawks, we are in an ideal situation. Brock Bowers, we'll see what happens with him. If he slides as well, then all of a sudden the Seahawks could potentially get some really good trade options and not have to move down that far. So happy for the Huskies. I'm still giddy for Michael Penix. I get it, Evan. You wanted him here. I didn't think that was a realistic thing to happen. His over under, Evan,
Mhm.
for where he was going to go in this draft was 32.5. I told people this morning, I'm like, if there's a bet to make, hammer the under on Michael Penix.
100%.
I mean, some people made some cash. 32.5. He went at 8. I would be curious to find out if there's the last time a player's been at a 32.5 over under that went in
Pick
the
is
top
in.
10.
Take away the injury concerns. Where does Michael Penix go? Where does he go? Top 5? Less?
Oh,
Top 3?
I think
If you're taking away the injury concerns, as in he didn't get injured, he just plays a straight 4 years. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think he's a top 3 pick in that situation.
So Vikings have got to be taking JJ McCarthy, probably. I haven't looked at anything. I'm just.
The
That's what it's
Vikings,
got.
they have absolutely set themselves up to have to take a quarterback. The only reason you trade up that pick is to take a quarterback. Like, there's no one else that they would be worried that they were going to lose. I think the only question is whether it's McCarthy or Nix, and I have to think it's McCarthy,
It's got to be McCarthy.
which is fine by me. I mean, I think that guy's mediocre.
He's just not good.
I think he's the only thing I will say is I think that a lot of the throws that I saw him make that made me think, why are people into this? We're to the left. And then it turns out he can't throw to his left.
Just like
So-
Trubisky.
If it turns out that that's some kind of mechanical thing that they can correct and his other throws are better, then he has maybe some hope. I mean, seems like a good kid. Seems like he's got his head on straight. Seems like, decent athlete. Clearly a winner. Like, it's not that I don't see anything positive about him, but I saw him make some awful throws, embarrassing throws where I'm like, yeah, this guy's not an NFL starter. But when I went back and thought about it and looked at them, they were all that was left. So who knows? It's a weird thing to have that where I don't know if I've seen a player where they literally just can't throw to one side of the field.
It's Mitchell Trubisky.
Trubisky is the guy. That's right.
The interesting thing is I don't recall that being when he was a prospect. I don't remember that narrative coming out. It was always
Maybe they didn't have the data back then.
Once he was on the Bears, yeah.
Oh man,
We're getting
So
close.
I'm a little
Vikings go-
excited, guys. Derek, who do you want them to pick again? Who do you want the Seahawks to get out of this first round?
Murphy or Verse.
Okay,
Those would be my top two. Clearly.
Evan, do you have a position? Like, is it, if you have a player, great. But I'm giving you the out here. Is there a position where you're like, I want the best kick-ass player at this position?
I think it's interior defensive line.
Yeah,
I really do.
would either of you be upset if they go interior, if they go offensive line? If they go
No,
Tali
definitely not.
Fuaga
No.
or Fautanu?
Fuaga, Fautanu, those would be my top two at the position, especially Fautanu, because of the situation with Abe Lucas is a little
100%.
shaky with the knee. I think Fautanu still has the length to work as a really good tackle.
My absolute worst fear is they take like a Bowers, honestly.
Really?
I don't know if that's my worst fear. Tell me why. Why is that your worst fear?
It's the tight end hit rate at the position is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
low historically. And
Yeah.
it's like what I said the other night. It is not a top need on this team. It's just not.
It's
It's
also
not.
a position that you really can fill what you need. Almost an undrafted free agency. Definitely in the last two rounds of the draft. So, but Brock Bowers is, he does look like a very likely blue chip player. Given all the other downsides, he does. So
It would be an extremely fun pick. It is not the most practical pick.
no. Interesting. So they're saying it was a 19% chance that McCarthy was going to be available at the 10th pick. Things really fell for the Vikings
Yeah.
almost perfectly. I mean, they probably would have liked to have one of the other quarterbacks, but
Yes
this is
and
a guy.
no.
He was legitimately discussed in the top 3.
The fact the Vikings waited, though, didn't move up to 5 with the Chargers, didn't move up to 7 with the Titans. Maybe they were patient.
It's kind of I respect the purple in the room, the ties, the shirts. They were really rocking the colors. That was well done. So I just want to give the Vikings front office a little shout there. But for them to have moved up to 23 in the first round, to get ammunition, to clearly move up to get a quarterback, and then to keep those 2 picks is maybe the most unexpected thing that could have happened in this draft to me. Like, I was sure they were going to make a move with those picks to get the quarterback they wanted. Maybe at the end of the day, I mean, when I did the math for the trade, everyone's like, oh, they'll trade with 4 or 5 for those 2 picks. That would be a crazy overpay. It was an overpay for the 3rd pick. And maybe the Patriots are like, no. And so they just stuck. And all these other teams stuck.
Man, why are they taking so long to announce this?
Because they're trying to draw stuff out, man.
It's annoying.
Yeah. I'm getting a little excited, though. This is falling really well so far for the Seahawks. It could turn on a dime.
It's fallen well because Penix was the unexpected pick. That was not expected to happen really before the Seahawks pick.
Well, not only that, but there hasn't been the trades where other people are trading up. And I mean, yes, Atlanta and Chicago were the 2 logical places in the top 10 to go defense. Neither one of them went defense. And now you've got the pick in. It's got to be JJ McCarthy. Like, I'm almost ready just to type it in.
I can't even like complain about the delay because of course
Yes, you can.
because of the situation on my TV screen right now. Deployed father, son has cancer. Like, I can't complain about this, right? So
I think you are complaining about it by not.
I'm definitely not complaining about this. They deserve their airtime.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Thank God! Thank God! Thank
Am
God.
I to assume that means JJ McCarthy?
It is. It is JJ McCarthy.
Thank fuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go, Evan.
There we go, man.
I was so worried. That was my nightmare scenario that he would go to Seattle. So I'm just very grateful.
Yeah. Well, the first round prediction game is really popping right now. I'm really curious how this is going to end up. Between those of us who played, right now, Jeff Simmons is leading at 45 points.
Crushing it.
Derek is second with 39. I am third with 35, and Nathan is fourth with 29. Ben Solak is having a rough go. He got 24. I am tied with Rob Staten, Daniel Jeremiah, Eric Edholm.
Matt Miller and Jeff Simmons are tied.
Yeah, Matt Miller and Jeff Simmons. Matt Miller's a 49ers fan, and he wouldn't return my request to be on my show. So screw Matt Miller. He's on my list now. I think maybe he didn't return my request to be on the show because I said, even though you're a 49ers fan, I'd like to have you on the show. He probably didn't appreciate that.
Take us in for the Jets.
The Jets.
Because it's got to be Brock Bowers, right? The receivers are gone.
Is there anybody on? Okay.
Dallas Turner's number one, consensus.
They
is
don't
number
need.
one.
They went Will McDonald last year. I don't know that edge makes sense for them. Like they could. I mean, they're definitely a defensive oriented team, but it really feels like they need help on offense. I mean, offensive line would make sense. Although they got Tyron Smith, they got Morgan Moses as their tackles. I think guard is a position. It could be Troy Fautanu.
What's their guard situation look like in New York?
I will tell you in a second. So the Giants, man, it's already updated with Malik Neighbors as a receiver. Wait, why am I looking at the Giants? I'm supposed to be looking at the Jets. All right, the Jets. Jets have John Simpson, who they just signed from Baltimore. He's a vet. And then their other guard is Elijah Vera Tucker. Their edge players, Jermaine Johnson and Hassan Reddick. They got Hassan Reddick.
I don't think Will McDonald was all that impressive last season. No,
He
he's only
wasn't.
a rookie, so I'm not going to write him
He
off.
wasn't. 15th overall pick, first year. I'm a Will McDonald believer. So, but yeah, that's where he's at. So the Vikings got JJ McCarthy. The Jets have almost certainly got to be going Brock Bowers, right?
Yeah, or O-line. But now you had Alt and
O-line would make O-line's a better pick. It's certainly a better pick. Everyone's been saying Brock Bowers. I like went back and forth on this. I was like, Brock Bowers is not the right pick for them to make, but everyone's like, oh man, they're gonna give Rodgers what he wants, and he wants this target.
Oh man.
If I was the Jets, I would take a tackle because I think this is the right class to do it. And they've got a couple guys. Morgan Moses. I don't care if Morgan Moses sits down. I don't care if Tyron Smith. He's an old dude. Like if they fight for that position and one of them wins, so be it. Colin Lundstrom says, after all this, what if we take Cooper DeJean? I'm scared.
I mean, it really wouldn't be the worst case.
they won't take him at 16.
Agreed.
I'll
So
tell you
you're
this.
going to get something.
They would have to.
Mike Macdonald, if they take a defensive player, I'm just going to assume Mike Macdonald had something to do with it, and I'm going to be okay with it. Even though John Schneider's made us feel like that's not the case. I'm going to choose to believe I'm going to trust it.
They just announced on
Olu Fashanu.
They took a tackle.
Olu Fashanu. Hey, so Brock Bowers, this is also good.
More good news.
This is good news. This could mean the Bengals choose to trade up at from 18 to 16, the Seahawks could pick up maybe a third or a fourth round pick to move down a couple spots and still get one of their guys.
Wait, who would the Bengals be targeting?
Olufashanu, he is the best pass blocking tackle in this draft. The only reason Olufashanu was not the first tackle taken is because he's an awful run blocker. And teams got scared off by it. But this guy was a consensus top 10 pick until people got a little bit more into his film as a run blocker. But he is an elite left tackle from a pass protection standpoint. So I think this is a smart move by the Jets.
I like it for him.
I like it a lot better than Bowers.
So Broncos pick is in.
Jesus.
They've
He's
been
moving, guys.
rumored.
That was fast.
It is.
So who do we think they might take?
It could be Bo Nix, but they could wait till the second round.
It could be Brock Bowers or Dallas Turner, and they thought, hey, there's no chance we're going to get either of these guys.
This
And
would be
that's why
like
they turned it
No
in quickly.
defensive player taken. If you look at the Broncos, I mean, they just have no quarterback and they have no second round pick.
Yeah.
If they don't
surprised
pick
they didn't trade
quarterback
back.
here, are they going to really roll with Zach Wilson?
Is that their only quarterback on the roster?
No, they've got Jarrett Stidham, and Ben DiNucci. But I mean,
Jarrett
that's like,
Stidham
those are three-
was Sean Payton's first signing, I think.
I mean, that would be. I mean, come on, that can't be what they're going to do. And that's the thing. If they don't take a quarterback, if they don't take Bo Nix here, they're not going to get him most likely unless he lasts to round 3. I think he's a third round pick talent wise, but I don't think he's going to last that long.
I think there's a chance he slips into the second round, though.
Oh, second round for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, but they don't have a second round pick.
They have to move up because they don't have until third round.
Okay, so what would be the most ideal option for Seattle's scenario for the Broncos to select not named Bo Nix? Like, who would we want them to take?
Wait, sorry, what was that?
So from Seattle's perspective, what positions do we want these next few teams to take that are not named Bo Nix?
We want them to take tackle, but not even, I mean, like, specifically love to see them call out Amarius, like Amarius Mims would be a fine name to call out.
Dallas Turner at edge.
Dallas Turner.
Go.
I don't think any of us
Brock
are
Bowers
Dallas
go.
Turner.
A cornerback, maybe?
Cornerback, so
Mitchell.
Terrion Arnold, Kenyon Mitchell, Latu Latu, for me, I'd be fine if he goes at edge. Maybe someone reaches for Chop Robinson. I'd be fine with that. Brock Bowers, I'd be fine with going. There's a lot of guys I'd be fine with going. This is fascinating. This is not going, I mean, it's not like wild, but it's, I mean, the Penix pick was certainly wild. And I still don't get it. Have you ever seen
bizarre.
Have you ever seen a team spend the most money of any team in free agency on a quarterback and then go top 10 with a quarterback?
They do not have an out until after year 2. It is effectively guaranteed in year 2. So you're going to bench a $40 million cap hit guy? I mean, the Broncos just took a $60 million dead cap hit, so anything's possible.
And it's not like Penix is 21.
No. He's going to be 24, I think, next month.
Right.
So this is not
so
a young
if you're going
guy
to sit him for 2 years and he's not going to start till he's 26, it's not the craziest thing. I mean, I'm just so happy for him. I don't really care, but I don't get it. I just don't. Of all the places for him to land, I don't get it. And one of the things that's interesting, people have compared Michael Penix to Kirk Cousins. So
he has more arm strength than Kirk for sure, though.
He does. None of these comparisons are absolutely like.
Yeah.
There's people that compare him to Phillip Rivers, and I'm like, their arms are like polar opposite. Like Philip Rivers had like a noodle arm, but they both were essentially stationary quarterbacks who moved the ball around the field and got rid of the ball before they could get sacked, that kind of thing. Philip Rivers also was not someone who was running a 4.5 40.
Right.
And neither is Kirk Cousins for that matter. But you know what? Here's what I'm assuming happened, guys. I'm assuming that they watched the tape, they met this man, and they were like, "What are we doing? This guy's gonna be a franchise quarterback. Are we really just gonna watch him do that somewhere else?" Like, they probably in their offices probably think he is one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in this draft. That's the only thing that makes sense, is they're like, we cannot let a value like this pass us by. And that's cool. I'm excited that someone else saw him the way that, I think some of us see him. Broncos pick is in. I think this has got to be quarterback. I think it's a massive reach if they go Bo Nix.
Not having the second rounder is really
It just
impactful.
forces their hand, right?
I guess I'm just surprised they didn't trade back.
But who's moving up for him? That's the
Who's
thing. You
moving
gotta
up
have
for-
a
yeah,
trade
anyone.
partner.
I mean,
Look at these idiots. Sorry.
With the big hat.
I should be nicer.
I'm just glad that we own this franchise. We own
I
them.
still have the AFC West hatred for the Denver Broncos. I will always hate the Denver Broncos.
Goodell just announced it.
I'm behind your
They
feed.
did.
Interesting.
Just tell me. I don't care. Tell me.
It's
Bo
Bo Nix.
Nix.
Bo Nix. Idiots.
That's crazy.
So
That is.
So
You know
that's
how I was
really
making-
good for Seattle.
you know how I was making fun of the Giants for their series of quarterback moves?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. To go, like, how far back do you have to go on Broncos quarterbacks move of how many consecutive decisions that they've made? You can go all the way back to like Brock Osweiler, right? Like Drew Lock. They have made so many bad quarterback decisions. And I think this is another one.
I think it is. It's a Sean Payton pick, though. Bo Nix played in a really controlled environment at Oregon, and he did well. He did well what he was asked to do. Sort of like Brock Purdy in San Francisco. He does well at what he's tasked to do. It's not a lot, but he does it well. I think Bo Nix is going to be the same way in Denver.
Trade back, pick up a second if you can. Take Rattler in the second.
Ugh. I'm not with it. I did predict that the Seahawks would take Spencer Rattler, but I haven't taken him in the third. Bo Nix is the oldest of the old. He's like already over 24. He's definitely got the mobility. He's definitely like a fighter. There's nothing to not like about him as a guy. He's like a coach's son, smart, tough. There's a lot to like there. I think his arm is pretty.
It's not great.
Pretty mediocre, man. He was also, by the way, his over under was 32.5 for where he'd go. The public was hammering the over on that. Everyone thought he was going to be a second round pick. So he goes, I think he is at best a second round pick talent, and he goes 12. That guy is very fortunate the way this draft fell for him.
Very fortunate for the Seahawks so far as well. Is that 6 QBs? Six QBs in the top 12?
Six QBs
massive.
in the top 12. That's got to be a record.
Yeah, I think so. 5 in the top 10.
This is exactly what you had to hope for would happen for the Seahawks. Now, the next 3, the Raiders, everyone thought they were quarterback. Raiders aren't going to
table at this point.
So where does Las Vegas go?
Dallas Turner, Brock Bowers. They may have not thought Brock Bowers
Yeah,
would be available
their
here.
defensive end situation's not ideal. They've got Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz. They've also their defensive tackle. They are a risk to take Byron Murphy. Can we? No one look at chat. I'm turning off chat because I can't. People do this to me. But they just got Christian Wilkins, but they're only. I mean, I think there's a decent chance they could go defensive tackle, which would really suck.
Could they go Dallas Turner?
They could go Dallas Turner. I think he's a little light to play defensive end in a 4-3.
Yeah, it's fair. I think he's 240.
Here we go.
Yeah, he's pretty light.
247.
They could go Jared Verse.
Pick is in. Pick is announced.
Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers.
That's good for us.
Brock
That's
Bowers.
really-
Hell yes.
good.
Okay.
That's really good.
3 away. 2 away. Sorry.
Brock
Okay,
Bowers.
I gotta pee before this happens. I'll be right back.
Now we're into it. The Saints.
Saints are a wild card.
Everyone has assumed this has got to be a tackle because Ryan Ramczyk has been looking like he's going to be out, and they really need a tackle. I think you could make the case that they might go. I mean, they've got Cam Jordan and Chase Young, so I don't think they're going to go end. They could go Byron Murphy.
Cam Jordan's got to be, 36 years old at this point?
Yeah, he's old. They could definitely go corner, though.
Mm-hmm.
Their corners are Paulson Adebo and Marshawn Lattimore, who's good but older.
So it's all there for them as well, really.
If they want to go tackle, who's the best available tackle here?
I'm just looking at the ESPN board, and it's Mims. Well, it's Fautanu if they think of him as a tackle.
Fautanu. They could go Fautanu for sure. I mean, they just don't have another option if they don't get a tackle. They could get a tackle later. So if you look at their draft capital, they have got.
Oh, they do not have anything after not anything. They go from a second round pick
rounder at
44, 4 fifth rounders. Is that right?
Yeah, they don't have a third or a fourth round pick. So they'd have to get their tackle at the 45th pick in the second round if they don't get him here. So you got to assume that they are thinking tackle. Maybe is there anyone that someone would be trading up for? This is, by the way, this is one of the things I really thought could happen, which is that the edges slide. That these are not top 10 edges, and they might not even be top 15 edges.
Brian at 16, if Verse and Turner are there, who do you prefer between those two? Not that the Seahawks are necessarily going edge.
Verse, 100% Verse.
Yeah.
Verse.
I just wonder if Dallas Turner is seen as maybe a little better scheme fit in a 3-4.
Yeah, the problem is that he's really weak against the run. He's really weak against the run. So I just don't know if they can afford to have another player of that profile. I think he is best. I think he is best as like playing inside a dome where his speed is just like killing somebody. I don't know if certainly you get the benefit of playing in front of the CenturyLink crowd, or is that what it's called?
No, it's Lumen
Field. I mean, how many different friggin' names is that?
I still call it Quest.
When it was Seahawks Stadium. It was Seahawks Stadium originally, and I was like, oh, that would have been so nice if they could have just kept that.
We were talking a lot about Johnny Newton last night too, weren't we?
Well, yes, there's a lot of people that like Johnny Newton. I am not a huge Johnny Newton guy. Derek, you like Johnny Newton, yeah?
I like him. After his trade down. At 16, I think I'd probably go trade down if Murphy and Verse are gone.
Okay, but if Murphy is there, you take him at 16.
Him or Verse. I'd lean Verse personally, but I can no issues if it's Murphy.
If they stick and pick at 16 and take one of those guys, I'll be okay. I still think this, man, what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they'll stick and pick, or do you think they'll trade back?
I think they'll trade down. With the way the board is falling, I think they'll trade back. John will say, there's 4 guys I like here. I'm going to move down to 20, whatever they can get, early 20s maybe, and say, I hope one of those 4 guys is still there in 6 picks. If they didn't have that hole in the second round, probably not.
Man, if they move out and they don't get Graham Barton, who's my other draft crush. If assuming those other guys, you're basically sacrificing those guys by trading back.
Yep.
Man, I don't know. It is fascinating. This is going much faster. I forgot how fast this can go. Like, you don't have a lot of time to think about what these teams
only
are
one
doing.
trade and 14 picks. So
I know. It's wild. Let's take a look at
Saints are running down the clock here.
Who's doing well in the scoring here. Okay, Derek, you're still ahead by 4 points over me. Nathan and I are tied now. Jeff's still in front.
Joel Klatt has
Joel Klatt's leading by 1 point. And who's leading? In the contest. Pre-fight Donut. He is leading everybody. He's got 53 points.
That's his name, Pre-Fight Donut.
Wow.
That's massive, man. He's crushing the competition.
Shout out to Pre-Fight Donut.
I want to check out his
score 3 the trades, Brian? Is that
Saints
that?
picks in per your sheet? That's before the broadcast.
Wait, what?
The take is in.
Yeah. Here, can I read Pre-Fight Donut's draft so far? He had Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. So he got the first, the 2 and 3 picks wrong. Marvin Harrison, JJ McCarthy, he got that wrong. Malik Neighbors to the Giants. Joe Alt. So he got a lot of stuff wrong here. Byron Murphy. How could this be first? I feel like something's off.
Something seems off here.
Something seems off. I'm going to have to go back and double check this. Something's off. Wow. He has hit a few exact matches, though. So he hit Caleb Williams. He hit Marvin Harrison. He hit Malik Neighbors. He hit Roma Dunze. He hit Bo Nix. And he hit Brock Bowers. So I think that is what's giving him. And he picked the trade. He picked the Jets trade. So I think that's why he is crushing it right now. Saints are picking. The expectation is that they would go offensive tackle. They've only got a 2nd round pick and then no 3rd or 4th round pick, I don't believe, or at least, something like that. Let me double check what that was. Yes, they do not have a 3rd or a 4th round pick. Ryan Ramczyk is injured. It feels like they would be in a bad way if they didn't, but they've got defensive needs. So if that's their best thought, is that's the best player, they could absolutely steal one of these defenders. And we are 2 teams away from the Seahawks picking. So as of right now, there has not been a defensive player picked. Am I right about that? 13 choices, 13 offensive players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little worried that the Saints will be the first team to go defense. Let's see what we got here.
Here we go.
All right, don't tell me. Let me just see it in real time. I got to see this one myself. You guys have been ahead of me every time. All right. After this, Evan, we're turning off our video.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to watch the 15th pick together. Talisi Fuaga. Okay. All right. I love Talisi Fuaga, but that is a great get for the Saints at 14. All right, now Evan,
What are you asking me to do?
Stop video.
Like
only
YouTube TV.
Only watch the screen share now. Do not look at chat.
Yeah, it's fun. Yep.
Let's make sure when Derek gets back, we tell him the same thing.
Yep.
I am back.
All right, Derek, turn off your video feed. Turn your phone off. Flip it
Even
over.
YouTube TV?
YouTube TV's off. Yeah.
YouTube TV is off.
All right.
The only thing you're watching is the screen share right now. We are going to watch these next two picks, the things that happen. We're going to watch them together. We're not looking at chat. So if you're sending us stuff in the comments, we're not seeing it. I've got do not disturb on my phone.
Yeah, I've got phone turned off.
So we're here. We are at 15. This is happening quite quickly.
So they went Fuaga. There have been no defensive players taken.
There's no defensive players. So now the chalk for the Colts has been Kenyon Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that? Tell me.
He is a cornerback.
Cornerback.
Okay.
But the Colts, you could make the case for sure. I mean, I thought they would go Byron Murphy back in the day. They just signed DeForest Buckner to an extension, and they've got Grover Stewart, who they signed. So I don't think it makes as much sense. They could go edge. They've got pretty weak edge. They could be Dallas Turner. This would be a really good fit. They've got Kwity Paye, Samson Ebukam, Dayo Odeyebingo, Yingbo. I don't know. Tyquan Lewis. I mean, they've got nobody at edge. I think this could definitely be Dallas Turner, Leatu Latu, one of those guys as well. What we don't want to hear, what we don't want to see is Byron Murphy or Jared Verse.
You'll have one of them no matter what, though.
You will have a choice at one of them, and you'll have Fautanu still available.
Yep.
Verse, Murphy. I mean,
there's some great players there.
You got.
I do wonder if that pressures John into thinking I can trade down.
Yeah.
Like, by how much though?
20.
What does that net you going from 16 to 20?
It would get you a third round pick, the 98th pick from the Steelers.
Oh.
And the thing is, the Steelers are highly likely to go up and draft an offensive lineman, and they're rumored to really like Graham Barton quite a bit. Amarius Mims is the other guy they could go after. They could go after Fautanu. So any of those guys. Here's the thing. Do any of you guys have a little concern about Fautanu's knee? Is he another Abe Lucas? That's starting to come up the last week.
How many times has he been injured? Just once, or is it like a perennial issue?
I don't even know.
I don't know that he's ever been injured as far as we know.
Not at all this last year, for sure.
Some people have said on the medicals it's come up that he's got a knee.
Oh, so it's
weird
like
it came up this late. It's weird it came up this late, though.
So it's like
nothing around the combine.
Yeah, it's a knee.
It's a knee
issue that we don't know what it means.
Interesting.
It gives me a little pause.
The thing is if he's actually medically flagged by multiple teams, he's going to fall. It's not going to be. It's not going to be. Oh, we're going to take him at 16. No, if there's a serious knee issue, he could be a day 3 pick. If it's a serious issue,
I doubt it'll be serious. I mean, Abe Lucas clearly had some kind of knee issue, and he went in the 3rd round. So
okay, day 2 pick is
day 2. Yeah. It could. I hope it's nothing, but in some ways, man, like if it's nothing and this plummets his stock, I'd feel so bad for that guy. I mean, he did everything right leading up to this draft. Just crushed it at the combine, crushed it in interviews, all that stuff.
Josh, I see you trying to text me. I'm not looking at it.
Don't look. Trust in you guys.
Turned over.
My phone is turned over. I don't have like the notifications that show the text. So
we are just watching this 1990s style. Oh, the pick is in. They did not trade.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, be Kenyon Mitchell. Be Kenyon Mitchell. or Dallas Turner?
Hold up. I'm pulling up the draft list, like who's available.
Hey, don't even look at that.
Don't. Okay.
Because if it shows who's available, it might update. I want us to all see
That's
this at
fair.
the same time.
That's fair.
It's hard to just focus in 2024, on one screen. This is tough for all of us.
Oh my God.
You want me to talk about the Mariners a little bit? First place Mariners?
No. Are they first place now?
First place Mariners.
You said it once, so I got to say it once.
Evan, that's your second time. Actually, I've been keeping.
Is it my second time?
It is. It was when McCarthy went. You said thank F when McCarthy went at 10.
You're taking money out of the hands of autistic families.
Who did it first, Brian? Who did it first?
I think you did.
No, you did.
Wait, Brian, is that what it is? To demonetize the video if we swear? Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, Brian, you had the crazy reaction, and I was making fun of you.
But didn't McCarthy come first?
No, McCarthy was later.
Dang it. Yeah, I know. I was as soon as it happened, I was like, oh no. But man, this team makes me feel that way.
Oh
all right.
My gosh, man.
I think it's gonna be Dallas Turner. I think it's gonna be Dallas Turner.
That the Colts are gonna pick?
That's who I think they're gonna pick.
I
think the first defensive player off the board. It could be Byron Murphy. Definitely could be. I think he's the best defensive player in the draft.
I would put Verse just ever so slightly ahead of him.
Man, I wish Jeff was here.
I know. I mean, it's crazy that no defenders have been picked. I think it's got to be a defensive player here at 15.
Oh, I'm so stressed out. Oh my God.
Brian, what's the Colts wide receiver situation like?
Colts receivers.
Did they re-sign Pittman or franchise tag?
They
Pittman?
did. They got Pittman. They've got
I just wonder about Brian
Josh
Thomas.
Downs.
Oh,
they've got
there's the pick for Colts.
Brian Thomas, I guess.
It's Latu.
It's Latu. Yeah, edge player.
Wow.
Okay. That is fantastic news.
Wow.
Murphy
Is that a little high for him?
What's that?
Is that a little high for Latu? Was he what?
No, there's some people that think he's the best defensive player in this draft.
Okay.
And that the only reason he's not top 10, top 6, whatever, is because he was medically retired at University of Washington for a neck issue. And then he played at UCLA for 2 years after that, injury free, and was one of the best pass rushers in college football.
What?
Yeah.
It was crazy. He saw like 6 different doctors and all of them said he'd have to retire. So
unreal.
He retired, went to UCLA, got cleared, and
guys, this is about as ideal of a fall of the board as you could have hoped for.
I don't even think it's about this is the ideal scenario. 6 quarterbacks. It's Latu instead of Verse or Latu.
Only one defender
Murphy.
taken.
Oh my gosh.
Fautanu's still there, who obviously has familiarity with Brian Grubb and Scott Huff.
Do not F this up, John.
I think that, is there anyone that would be trading up for any of these guys? Like, would the Bengals be trading up for Murphy, or like, if they just go Byron Murphy here, turn it in, man. I'm fine with that. Yeah. If they go, even if it's Verse, like those 2 guys, I am all in for.
You're losing out on one of those guys for sure if you're trading back here.
The Jaguars are not going to take a defensive player, most likely. They could take a corner, but they seem like they're supposed to go receiver, Brian Thomas, who is most people have him going for.
Oh my God.
The
I'm just waiting for that thing to say pick us in.
I'm waiting for it to say trade, like for that name to swap with somebody else.
Oh man. I haven't focused this hard, like looking at a pixel on a screen, since I was like chopping wood on RuneScape. Like click, click, click. You know what I mean? Like oak trees and Lumbridge or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Do you guys? No, okay.
No clue.
Got it.
What's your game of choice right now, Evan? What are you in? What are you playing?
Man, Warzone is in like a stage where they brought back some of the 1.0 characteristics from like the COVID days.
Yeah.
So Call of Duty has gotten me back for a little bit, but I'm not really a gamer anymore these days. Like, I don't know. I get addicted to a game and I play the shit out of it, but I don't have any right now. I've heard, oh my God, Hell Dive first.
Oh, Helldivers or whatever.
So, yeah, I've had multiple people tell me I have to play that game. Have you guys played that?
I have not.
No.
I've seen a lot of people playing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a
I've been-
PlayStation only one? I think
I think it's PS5. I think
it's PS only. Yeah, I'm an Xbox guy, so
Yeah, me. Well, yeah, I use a controller on PC. I'm a weird person, but
I used to be pretty dang good with the mouse and keyboard on PC on shooters. You could
dude,
you can really move differently.
I committed war crimes in Modern Warfare 2 lobbies back in the day. I'm just gonna be honest right now.
guys, I'm getting nervous. They're trading back.
Oh, they're definitely going to use this time to find a partner. They're going to see everything. The question is, who's going to move up? Like, I just don't know that there's a guy that someone's going to move up for. You're not sniping.
That's true.
Like, are you sniping the Jaguars for somebody? I don't think so. Like, is someone going to move up worried that the Bengals, like maybe, I just don't know that they're going to get an offer that's worth it.
That's what I wonder. If the board has fallen this well for the Seahawks, it's probably fallen pretty well for some other teams, a little lower.
Yeah.
And they're saying, well, I got 3-4 guys I like, so I'm not gonna
Worst case scenario is the Seahawks trade back and take a crap trade just because they're so desperate to get more picks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of cute stuff they've done where
the value has to be there. It has to.
If you're not getting a 3rd round pick, at least, don't move.
Then it's not worth it.
Don't move. It's got to be a top 100 pick.
Yep.
Last year, the Patriots were so desperate to move down. They moved down from 14 to 17, and they only got a 4th round pick. They actually lost 100 points in value.
That's horrible.
So usually teams pay a premium to move up in the 1st round. They paid a premium to move down. Like, don't do that shit. Like, just take a good player, move along.
Don't lose
the pick
traits.
is still not in. They're moving down.
You think they're going to?
Look, they did this last year. Derek, they had
Pick us in.
Okay, it's Byron Murphy.
We probably got a minute. Brian, go ahead.
Byron
And finish what you're
Murphy.
gonna say.
It's got to be Byron Murphy.
Oh my God, man!
I'm betting on Byron Murphy.
The trade back was not there. That's really interesting.
This is an okay scenario. This isn't like if they get. Don't be a cornerback.
So what are the top 3 names we want, or like 4 that were acceptable?
Murphy versus Fautanu.
Yep.
Murphy versus or Fautanu. Okay.
I would be okay with Graham Barton personally as well, but that's just me.
Oh my God, I'm so stressed out.
How many times have we sat here staring at the screen and then it's something we all hate? And it's like, that's a Seahawks pick.
Most of the time.
It's like, oh, that's a Seahawks pick.
It's going to be like Marshawn Nealand or something, or like Chop
like
Robinson, who
yeah,
some people would be excited about, but I wouldn't.
Oh, my heart is pumping out of my chest right now.
I feel pretty calm, actually. Like there's almost like it's going to be hard for them to do something stupid. And I said that out loud. Yes, I did.
Don't say that.
I said it out loud. I'm tempting fate.
Just make the right pick. Fly.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack on stream.
I mean, I was supposed to be watching this. I didn't even watch when Latu's name. You guys were both like, it's Latu. And I'm like, where did you see that? I wasn't even watching. So I'm watching intently now. Be tough.
Spencer Rattler? I'm just
shut up.
God damn it, Evan.
My heart stopped. I was like, you bastard. You bastard. Oh my God.
Oh my God, man. My heart. Oh,
it's all right. We've only got like thousands of people.
Evan, that was a good one. Now. Credit for that.
Oh my God. Oh, come on, NFL.
Who do you think it's going to be? Who do you think it's going to be? I'm getting a Fautanu feeling at the end of this. Like, that's where my mind's starting to go. But yeah. Who do you think it's going to be?
I think it could. Yeah, I think Fautanu, honestly.
Oh my God.
Evan, do you have a preference, offense or defense? Like offensive interior line or defense?
I think it's defense, but it's really closely followed by guard.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy with either. I really am.
Yeah.
But cornerback or safety would really freak me the fuck out. Like it would be bad.
If it's Cooper DeJean, I don't want that for a lot of reasons, but I do want to see.
Yeah,
I do want to see your
like,
reaction.
I saw that, Evan.
I saw like a glitch in the matrix.
A little refresh.
Bro,
Yeah.
I swear to God. Oh my God.
Come on. The people in chat already know who this is. There's
it.
all sorts of reactions going on right now. We're the last people on the planet to know who the Seahawks have picked.
God, I hate this football team so much. I hate them so much. I hate this.
Oh my gosh. They did the right thing last year. They did the right thing twice, as far as I'm concerned, the first round last year. Do it again. Make the logical pick. Do the right thing. Be a tougher team.
The flicker's driving me insane.
I know.
I think it's going to update every time.
I mean, you realize since we're not watching the TV, they absolutely went to commercial break. It's the Seahawks pick. Yeah. They have to have gone to like the longest commercial break possible.
Bro, I swear to God.
I'll tell you what, whoever they don't pick, it's going to be hard to watch those guys on other teams. I think the guy that I'd have the most struggle with going to another team would be Byron Murphy. They
have no excuse for fucking this up.
Stop it.
Oh, messing this up. They have no excuse.
We're screwed by now, probably. I don't know how they're so good at picking that up, man. The technology is impressive. My God, this is dragging on. Does it have to travel all the way from the Northwest to Detroit, like by mule?
They got some dial-up internet.
They've really gone downhill since Paul Allen. I mean, the tech is.
What was it in the back in the day? If like somebody picked up the phone, the internet stopped working or something. Like
there's another flicker.
Oh my God, John, put the phone down, bro.
Well, yeah, it used to be each team had a rep at the draft itself. Maybe it still is, but they would call the rep, and then the rep would write up the card and turn it in.
I mean, I'm shocked the Seahawks have not been one of the teams that don't get their pick in on time and forfeit their pick.
You don't forfeit. You don't forfeit.
You lose your turn.
No, it's the next team can jump you then, because they can pick ahead of you if you don't get it in on time.
Yeah, that happened.
Did it?
Oh yeah, it totally happened. What is going on?
This is crazy.
What is going on?
Are
they doing like contract negotiations? I mean,
they learned from the Jamal Adams deal. We're not signing you. You're not on.
Yes! Oh! Yes! Let's go! Let's go!
All right.
Let's go! Hell yes! Let's go. The turning of the tide. The Seahawks are going to have the best defensive tackle duo in the division for the first time in how long? Byron frickin' Murphy.
They did the right thing.
They did it. They frickin' did it.
I'm like in shock. I don't know how to respond. This is.
Oh, now we get to turn. We can look at chat now. Oh, the celebrations. The celebrations. Everybody, thank you, Jesus. Let's go. Yes, finally, thank God.
You know what? Trust the process. Trust the process with this new head coach. We finally have a defensive mastermind. We finally have one. Trust him.
I'm so happy. The Seahawks, John Schneider has never drafted a defensive tackle in the first round. Never done it. He has now done it. The last 2 years, his first round picks have all been positions that he had never previously drafted in the first round. Oh my God. Cornerback, receiver, and now defensive tackle.
Oh my God, I can't believe they did it.
This was on most people's board the best defensive player in this draft. And people have said that in any other year, he would be a top 10 pick. But because of the quarterbacks and the offensive tackles And the way this draft fell, the Seahawks at 16 get the best defensive tackle in this class. Guys, this guy can play everywhere on the line. He plays nose tackle at 300 pounds. Evan, you know that big, thick boy, Tavondre Sweat, that I showed you pictures of?
Love him. Love him.
Right? He played 3 technique, the movement position. Byron Murphy took nose tackle at times. He played the position like to hold up. He's strong. He is quick. His upside is huge. Yes.
Oh my God, they did.
Okay, sorry. I'm so excited. I got to stop for a second.
I'm like in shock.
What are you thinking? How you guys feeling?
My honestly, my first reaction was it Pete all along who was making the bad draft choices?
That's a great take. That is a great take.
I'm excited. It's a fantastic pick. It's what the Seahawks needed. They didn't get cute. They didn't have a great trade down option, I'm assuming. Although I did just see the Vikings traded up to go get Dallas Turner, so they moved up 6 picks. I wonder if that wasn't available to the Seahawks.
Do we know the comp on that, just out of curiosity?
I'll try to find it on Twitter real quick. But Byron Murphy, this dude is explosive, fast. It's like Brian, you said earlier, he's not Aaron Donald, but he has that build. He has that explosive, quick first step that you don't see from a lot of defensive tackles.
You know what, though? It goes back to what Mike Macdonald said. We are going to beat you up front in the trenches. We're going to knock you around. We're going to punch you in the throat. That's what they're going to do.
The Vikings gave up 23, obviously, 167, 5th round pick, and then a 3rd and a 4th next year.
Oh no, I am not doing. If that was the deal that was offered to take the Seahawks pick,
I don't think I'd do that either.
I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, not the 3rd and 4th next year.
No,
not great.
Because that's a 4th and 5th.
That gives you an idea of what was being offered to the Seahawks. That is not good job, John.
This is great.
Proud
this
of
is
you.
great. And look, this is where guard, you can get a guard on day 2. Now, they don't pick until, 81? Brian, do you know the pick?
They pick at 81. The Seahawks pick 81? At 81 in the 3rd round.
So
yes.
I think that becomes a heavy spot for a guard. But there's depth there at that position in the way that there isn't really for defensive tackle, at least someone like a Byron Murphy.
Here's the thing is I believe that 3rd round, what we're going to be looking for there, very likely won't be guard. I think there's a decent chance that they go 4th round for guard. They have 2 4th round picks. I believe a real possibility is that they go either linebacker or safety at that position. It could be a Cole Bishop. It could be a Junior Colson. It could be, there's a long list of guys. Javon Bullard, you don't know who's going to be available there, but there's a lot of guys that could be. And I think that they wait till the 4th round to get their guard. I'm telling you guys, the dream is alive. The dream is alive that they bring both Texas big fellas to Seattle. That Tavondre Sweat and Byron Murphy come to Seattle is a possibility. Hey, we got Dayna O'Gorman at the draft. Dayna, how's it going? What was your reaction in Detroit when the Seahawks made their pick?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, my mic is not working, so this is just on my phone, so I hope you guys can hear me okay.
We can hear you. You're good.
Okay, good. I was standing listening to the Malik Neighbors interview and taking video of that when it was announced on the television, and I literally squeaked and had to cover my mouth. I was so excited. It was so exciting. But I will tell you, I have to tell you the funniest thing that happened. They announced that Michael Penix, and the entire media room lost their minds. It was hilarious.
Like in what way? Were they cheering? Were they like, oh my God?
Cheering, pumping fists, like so excited. I didn't expect it at all. It was very surprising.
That's cool. I mean,
cool.
That guy is so easy to cheer for. I just hope for everything good to happen to that guy.
I know. So you guys tell me, are you so excited? Is that Brian? I know this is who you wanted.
Dayna, when we did, you remember the season was barely ending. We were doing a Real Hawk Talk, and I said, let's do a mock draft. And you're like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. And the first guy that I wanted at 16 was Byron Murphy. First guy.
I know.
So I am thrilled. The Seahawks have not had a player of this profile that they've drafted. Like, when's the last defensive tackle of this caliber the Seahawks drafted?
I have no idea. I'm so shocked they actually picked, right? Like, I thought for sure they would trade back. I don't think they wanted to.
I don't think they wanted to.
I don't think they wanted to either.
Are you going to get to be there when he gets interviewed or anything like that?
He was not here. He was home.
That's right.
Yeah. So no, sadly this year, I got both of them last year, but this year he decided to stay home. So I was really hoping. I just noticed that I put Dayna IG. This is how excited I am. I couldn't even type for my damn name.
That's okay.
So yeah.
How is it? How is Detroit? Is Detroit doing a nice job with the draft?
Yeah, except for their horrific Wi-Fi for the media, but otherwise it's great. There's I think they said 200,000 people out there. It is insane here, and there is more media here than I have seen in the last 3 years. So people were excited about this draft. They really were.
Okay, guys, I'm scrolling back.
I'm just so relieved right now. I'm just
I know,
so
me
relieved.
too.
This
The
is
last-
it's the
Go
most.
ahead.
It's one of the most ideal scenarios.
Yeah.
For something to happen on draft night for this team. It's I think one of the best players available, and it fits a critical need.
It really, really does. It's just crazy.
And we don't have to deal with Cooper DeJean or whatever his name is. like
No, we don't have to deal with that at all. We don't have to deal with Evan dealing with Cooper. That's going to be even better.
I'm so grateful.
Funny. All right, guys, I'm so sorry. I got to bail, but I will try and hop on again
Thanks,
tomorrow. Dayna. Yeah, we'll see you later.
Yeah. So I just tweeted this out. The last time the Seahawks took a defensive tackle in the first round was Marcus Tubbs in 2004. And I don't think Marcus Tubbs was the 23rd pick in the draft. That's not the same. So I think you got to keep going back. Keep going back.
Jaron Reed was in 2016. That was an early second.
The second rounder. I'm talking, this is a guy that was considered the best defensive tackle in the draft and a top 10 by most people.
Yeah. I got a couple stats on Byron Murphy.
Yes.
Of defensive tackles in FBS, which is, the big college, top 130 teams. He's number one pass rush grade of any interior defensive lineman. Highest win percentage rate, which is how often do you beat your man? 19.6%. Next closest was Michael Hall at 18.3%. Second most hurries or pressures otherwise of any defensive tackle in the country last year. This is a disruptive interior force that the Seahawks have been desperate for since Mike Macdonald, really.
You just had to say his name, didn't you? You had to say his name.
But that's what they were hoping to get with him. And now 7 years on,
this is the highest the Seahawks have taken a defensive tackle in the draft since Sam Adams in 1994.
Wow.
Did you hear that, Evan?
I'm investigating this man's social media as we speak right now.
Evan's doing his research.
I need to inspect his takes.
Okay, we got a super chat here. I got to get this on here. Devin Hoover says, so now that we got Murphy, do you think Sweat was brought in on a 30 visit because they have interest in him or for intel on Murphy? I have a take on that. What do you guys think? You have any thoughts, Derek?
They're interested. I don't think you bring a guy in for intel on his teammate.
I think you do. I don't think that's what they were doing there. I think there's legitimate interest in T'Vondre Sweat. I think there is still legitimate interest in T'Vondre Sweat. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, the Seahawks already got a defensive tackle. They don't need another defensive tackle. They play two different positions. They have two different profiles. T'Vondre Sweat is the only nose tackle really worth taking in this draft. And if you get T'Vondre Sweat Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams on the inside of your line, you have redefined the future of this franchise. Even just with Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams, when's the last time the Seahawks had a defensive tackle duo of that level of
It's
talent?
a massive improvement. And don't forget about Jaron Reed, not to be forgotten, had a pretty good season last year. And now he's that third, and now he's your third defensive tackle rotating in. I mean, it's phenomenal.
So we got to get caught up here.
Marius Mims.
I'll just say, like,
American...
Byron Murphy, Leonard Williams, Boye Mafe, Uchenna Nwosu. That's not a bad defensive line.
It's a pretty good group.
It's a pretty good group. It's a pretty good group.
It's pretty good. I agree with you that Jaron Reed played well. I still think Jaron Reed is like a good, not great player. Has a pretty hard ceiling, right? Byron Murphy could end up being the best defensive tackle in the division.
Does this mean Draymond Jones is gone?
No.
You don't think so? Even
I
though
don't
they
think it
need to
affects-
open up a ton of cap space?
I'll tell you this, Evan. I was really thinking Draymond Jones was gone next year until I heard the press conference with the personnel department. And they were asked about the new coaching staff and players that they already got that they might be excited to work with. The first player they mentioned was Draymond Jones and the fact that he is so versatile and that he can play all along the line, including out to the edge. So I think they've got an idea of how they want to use Jones. I think it's very unlikely John Schneider as a GM is going to cut bait on the biggest free agent signing they had ever made 1 year after signing him. I think he's going to use that and say, it was coaching. Let me show you what a real coach can do with the players that I got for you. Even if that's not the right choice, I find it very hard to believe. Look who's back. Look who's back.
Just in time for the Rams to really talk about how great Sean McVay's pick is here. I'm very excited.
I'm just glad we're not going to see Michael Penix play in LA. That was a fear of mine. So
that pick, I'm sure you guys talked about it, but that was insane. Why? I don't understand what draft the oldest quarterback out there to sit behind a guy you just gave a huge contract to.
It is a little bizarre.
Yeah.
It is bizarre. Nathan, but actually before you get out, we got a few super chats. Got to get on here. John Hurlbutt, one of our best and longest supporters, says, "Don't let Murphy ride any ATVs." Amen, John. Amen. Altitude Homes, by the way, plug for Altitude Homes. If you're looking for a house, reach out to John Hurlbutt. He is a guy that you can trust. Michael Mathis, a super chat, says, "I'm sorry, I can't approve of this pick because Mike Macdonald wanted some pictures taken down."
Seahawks PR is in overdrive today to dispel that. So they did the video going down the hall, and then the John Schneider Mike Macdonald thing was right in front of the Sherm Tip poster. So they are trying very hard to undo that.
That's kind of quality trolling going on, though. Like, I kind of like that.
I can't decide if it's quality trolling or if they're like really like frantically trying to reverse that narrative.
Maybe it made me laugh. Michael, another super chat, says, "Evan, how did you feel when Mike Macdonald melted down Pete Camparell's one Lombardi trophy and formed it into a plate for Whataburger?" Evan's not here. We'll read that for him when he comes back.
Evan is too busy stalking Byron Murphy's.
Oh my gosh, another super chat. Okay, I'm done now. But on a serious note, I love this pick. I am so hyped. We're with you, Michael. We're hyped. Nathan, how do you feel? How do you feel about Byron Murphy as a Seahawk?
Great. And it's really cool that like the Seahawks, forever it's like, oh, they're going to do something weird and it will seem stupid and it might be LJ Collier or it might be something great, but it's going to be something that no one talked about, no one expected. And no, it's the guy that we talked about for months and we all said this guy's really cool and wouldn't it be cool if he's a Seahawk, and he's a Seahawk, and that's really cool. So yeah, I mean, I know this is more of the trend the last couple of years. Witherspoon was a little bit of a surprise, but like I think that kind of got out and people were cool with it and excited about it. So yeah, it's nice to just have your team do something fun and cool and get the guy that you like the whole time.
It looks like the Rams are taking Jared Verse.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's not fun.
No.
I thought Latu was going to go to them. Obviously, he already went. I thought they might go left tackle. I think a lot of the tackles are gone, and they need edge. They really do. So that's a great pick for them. They've been absolutely killing the draft lately.
Hey, I think Nathan, not to give him his flowers too early, but Fautanu is slipping.
Well,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. I also, the Penix thing though. That's gonna.
Yeah, that works against you.
Yeah. No, let's talk more about Fautano's slipping. So I like that part. Hey, JC Latham, has he gone yet?
Yeah, he went 9th, 7th.
7th.
Oh, Latham did. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Olu went right after him
No, Olu went to the Jets at 11.
at 11, right? Yeah. Okay.
Because the Vikings traded up.
Evan, I want to know what you think about Byron Murphy's his whole deal. Like I'm watching this video of him, reacting. Looks rather svelte for a defensive tackle. This is not Tavondre Sweat at all. Have you seen this? And because I know that there was some quads talk in the group chat earlier, and this man.
I just saw an interview of him shitting on cold weather, and let me tell you, I could not be a bigger fan. I'm not even kidding.
I can't tell if this dude has like books in his jean pockets or if he just has like massive ass like quads and thighs or whatever.
Hold up. I got to turn off Google Safe Search to do this. Hold up.
The fact that you're telling us you have Safe Search on in the first place is hard to believe. That's the hardest part to believe about that story.
I put it in the group chat.
I will say Jared Verse, easily one of my favorite players in this draft. I love the way he plays that position. I think the Rams got a real one. I think it wouldn't shock me if he is one of the best edge rushers in our division for many years. I mean, you do not see defensive ends plant offensive tackles. Like, you don't see that. And he did it to multiple guys. He's just a beast, man. Look at that. That's a great celebration. Yeah, I'm happy for that guy. I wish it wasn't in the division, but I'm happy for him.
Jared Verse is a top 5 pick in like 80% of drafts, right?
I think so, but like
he came out last year. I thought he was a top 10 pick. Second edge rusher after Will Anderson. Easy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's really impressive.
Who else has gone since? Okay, Jared Verse just went. You said Rams. Oh, that one hurts.
I didn't have the TV on when they were doing the Seahawks pick, but I hope they did some kind of highlight package on Murphy because I mean, I feel like I didn't get to see it. Yeah. Just a great physical player. Can play the run, can play the pass. Steelers, I'm guessing they're going to go Graham Barton here. But they could go Troy Fautanu. This could be the place Fautanu goes off the board.
I'm starting to wonder how serious Fautanu's knee is.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact Fuaga went ahead of him, Mims went ahead of him. I mean, I think he's a more established player than Mims for sure. Mims started 8 games at Georgia?
Yeah, what is the Bengals line situation, though? Do they just need pure tackles? I think they need pure anything on the line, is my understanding.
Yeah.
In case anybody's wondering about Jeff Simmons, we got a text from him, all caps. I am so happy, all exclamation marks, until he put an ampersand at the end. So he is like overjoyed. Josh Cashman also strong, excited reaction.
This man is so thick.
Right?
He is.
But like in a really fit way.
That's what I'm saying.
Look at this. Look what I'm posting in our private chat.
I'm scared now.
private chat and
look at
StreamYard or
Twitter.
on Twitter? Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a defensive tackle.
Look at his
He looks
shoulders,
like
man.
He looks like a 280-pound D end.
His shoulders pop out like hard.
Oh yeah.
Calm down. Good Lord.
What? His shoulders pop out. He does
I-
those
my
lateral.
fault.
He does those lateral arm raises. Sorry,
I
guys.
apologize, everyone. He
You're-
does have those Dwight Howard shoulders, though. You're right.
No,
Like,
his
oh my
shoulders
God.
pop out.
I just saw your tweet and
Hey, so one interesting thing, the Seahawks under Pete Carroll almost always drafted, and maybe actually always drafted, defensive tackles with 33-inch arms. That was one of their fixed rules, was 33-inch arms. Murphy comes in with 32 and 3/8-inch arms. So I don't know what Brian's dying over.
Brian, are you okay over there?
So you're saying
going
Pete
on?
Carroll was the problem? Oh wait.
What did Brian do?
Brian,
Oh my God! Can somebody show this on screen? Brian,
no,
no,
we're
I was-
not doing
I-
that to our first round pick on this pod. We're gonna keep that to ourselves. God dang it, Josh. Oh my God. I gotta no.
You see this chat?
Do not-
You see, this is Byron.
Are you gonna behave?
Have you scrolled down though? Do you see the next one?
I will behave.
Did you see the next? No.
About
Oh
popping
my
hard.
God. Oh my God. All right. We are not doing that to our first round pick. We're sticking with the Aaron Donald body type. Oh my gosh. Josh Cashman, if you have courage, you can tweet it out to the public and deal with whatever comes there. Oh no.
Whatever. That's right.
This is a funny juxtaposition to the picture we just saw, which is John Hurlbut says Murphy is the DK of defensive tackles. Sure looks that way in most of the things we've seen, but maybe not in the picture that Josh found on the internet. So Josh is not going to be asked to be doing PR for Byron Murphy anytime soon.
Maybe you will. Who knows?
Maybe.
Did Devin Witherspoon? He had long arms, right? Or did he match the typical Seattle corner?
Let me see. I don't think he was 32. And look, these aren't statements that only good players have 33-inch arms, 30 line, and 32 for corner. It's just these were pretty hard and fast rules.
He had 31 and a
Carroll.
quarter-inch arms.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pete Carroll went a little different there at corner. But this was something that I forget who it was, but someone looked back at Mike Macdonald's defensive tackles that he had in Baltimore, and I don't think any of them had 33-inch arms. So it's not a priority, it seems like, for Mike Macdonald as it was for Pete Carroll.
I do want to, we always show the positive. Frank Darcy, not a fan of
He's
this.
out.
He's like, this stream is a joke. You know what? It is kind of a joke. And if you're not in on it, then I can understand. You might not want
Hey, we didn't see the pick. Can I tip the pick for the Steelers here?
Yeah.
It is Fautanu.
Oh, good.
Nathan,
Nathan just eating it tonight. How's that feel, Nathan?
That's nothing new.
Tastes good.
Yeah, it's great.
He's a good. Have you heard his interviews at all? Like any of the interviews he's done, like on Brock and Salk or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Man, he is a easy guy to cheer for. And I think Steelers are lucky to get him for sure. Hopefully his knee thing is nothing, but
yeah,
good player.
Is that a thing that was like known before? Because I feel like that kind of came out late, right? Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, it seems awfully late to come out. Like you thought you'd hear something around the combine or at the pro day or any of these workouts that happened in March. It was a really late reveal.
People are trying to figure this out.
So the
I think
only
Jason's
red
on the right
flag-
track there.
the only
Yeah.
red
Oh my
flag
god.
does come from Texas, and like he might like Whataburger, and that could be a problem.
Oh my god.
Well,
I
he's
guess you have to
almost
tweet at him,
certainly
Evan.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweet at him right now. Hold up.
You tweeting out the picture?
No,
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 he's
I would never
He's tweeting to
something
ask. He's
inappropriate.
tweeting to ask Byron Murphy if he prefers Whataburger
Oh,
or
I gotcha.
or In-N-Out. Right,
Um,
Evan?
Yes.
So here is something that I can share from that Josh Cashman shared in our chat. This is a tweet from the 33rd team, which I have to admit it's had some questionable takes on things. But in any event, shades of Aaron Donald and Byron Murphy. This is a former NFL GM, Rick Spielman, says he's not Aaron Donald, but he's as close as you can get in this year's draft. I don't know how I feel about that quote. Like, there's a lot of caveats to that. Couldn't you say that someone's the closest you could get in any draft?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think you could extend that quote to the last few years. I mean, has there really been a defensive tackle like Byron Murphy from the last few years?
I think
There was who was it last year? Was it Kalijah Kancey? He was pretty sparked up.
Yeah.
yeah, but he had the tiniest arms, man. He had like under 30-inch arms.
Yeah, you're right.
He had a good rookie year though, didn't he? He was pretty
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah, he was definitely effective. I think if you're like the most bullish on Byron Murphy, it's got to be the fact that he was not playing 3-tech a lot of the time last year. He played nose tackle a lot, and he was playing in a defense where he was not being given freedom to just disrupt and go up field. The fact that he is at least equally adept in defending the run and as a pass rusher on the inside gives the Seahawks a lot of flexibility. They can move Leonard Williams all along that line. Byron Murphy can also play multiple positions. Jaron Reed has played nose tackle. He's played 3-tech. They can have a nice rotation there. And if they add one more guy, Jonathan Hankins is now their nose tackle at 323. If they add one more guy, then all of a sudden, I mean, defensive tackle, they could exit this draft with that being a strength of this team. And it certainly has not been for a long time.
We're maybe forgetting Jalen Carter last year though, and the defensive tackles similar to Aaron Donald.
Do you think that he's like? Do you think he's
He's
similar
not
to Aaron
as-
Donald?
He's not as agile as Aaron Donald.
Well, I mean, I don't
No
think
one-
Byron
no
Murphy
one
is
is,
similar to
but-
Aaron Donald either, but like,
Yeah, no,
how about
no.
closest to Aaron Donald, right?
I guess I thought about Jalen Carter. The body types for me are just super
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
As far as like disruptive defensive tackle, yeah, totally get it. I think if Jalen Carter and Byron Murphy were in the same draft, Jalen Carter probably goes ahead of Byron Murphy.
I think so.
So who's up now? We got the Dolphins up now. Picks in. Is this Graham Barton?
They need O-line.
Is it Brian Thomas? Do they go and add another speed merchant to that offense?
There's a lot of options. And I always thought the Dolphins were always the hardest one to kind of pin down.
Someone says that they picked Chop Robinson.
There you go.
Anyone have confirmation of that?
Yes, they did.
All right. So Chop Robinson. He goes pretty high. That's at the high kind of. People thought maybe he'd get into the teens even, but he's had a pretty solid move up. By the way, Devin Weatherspoon yesterday or whenever it was, 2 days ago when he was on with Daniel Jeremiah, he was not allowed to pick his own teammate Johnny Newton as who he'd like to add to the Seahawks. And they said, who else would you like to add? And his first name was Byron Murphy.
There you go.
He's the second defensive player to come off the board, right? Latu and then him.
He is the second defensive player.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
How 15? That's got to be close to like the lowest the first defensive player has gone, right? Was it a record?
It's got to be. I mean, I think the quarterbacks, 5 in the top 10, 6 in the top 12, that's almost certainly a record.
Yeah.
But yeah, 14 picks with no defense, that's someone will tweet it out in the next day.
All right. Let me go a little bit more into Byron Murphy. I'm trying to find
Brian, does Byron Murphy pass the age test?
21.
Perfect. He's
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
No redshirt seniors.
Hey Brown 47, thank you for the amazing super chat. Says, cracked my phone screen jumping out of the couch for Murphy. Seahawks did it right this year in round 1. Thanks for the weeks of lives and mocks leading up to this. It's been fun. You know what, man? We are just getting started. Now this is just more momentum to do more shows, more talk. So appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the support. We also got a new member, Ian C. joins as a new YouTube member. So amazing. Good quick plug on YouTube membership, man. You get that little emblem next to your name. So we see when you make comments, questions, things like that. And you get access to the custom emojis that other people don't. So you got access to Evan as Spider-Man, Spider Evan. You've got access to me with a bag over my head. You've got access to John Schneider with his shirt off, which I think if you guys are not, if all the members are not using John Schneider with his shirt off after that pick, I don't know what you're waiting for. So now's a great time to join as a member. Jessen Serenio joins as a member. Great to have you as well. So thank you guys for supporting the show. Gosh darn it. Where I got to find, I had a tweet. There was all sorts of data plots of defensive tackle, pass rush win rates, and all this stuff, and where Murphy was relative to some of the other guys. And I got to find this because it was on my draft. I had this, like Michael Hall Jr. and Byron Murphy were on this, and I just got to find this. Gosh darn it.
It wasn't like a major account that tweeted it out. I know that.
I don't think so. Let's see if I can find a couple pieces here. Here's one. This might not be the one you're talking. Maybe you already said this, Derek, because I know you were talking about some of these. This was the last 2 seasons of pass rush win rate and run stop win rate for this year's interior defensive line draft prospects. Did you already talk about this?
I talked about just 2023. He was number 1 in the country in pass rush win rate, number 1 pass rush grade for PFF.
So he was number 1 in pass rush win rate at 17%. And then run stop win rate, he also was near the top at 9.7%. Chris Jenkins was number 1. Then there's a guy named Evan Anderson at number 2. T'Vondre Sweat at 3. And then Byron Murphy. So you've got a guy that just, he does both things really, really well. Oh, here's a fun one. A physics student put together after the combine how much force different defensive tackles generated after their 40 times and their 10-yard splits and 20-yard splits and their weight. The person who generated the most force of any defensive tackle in this draft, T'Vondre Sweat, generated over 1,000 pounds of force moving his 366 pounds as fast as he did during that 40 run. Number 2 was Braden Fisk. And very close behind him, Byron Murphy, who ran a 4.88 with a 1.69 split, generated 935 pounds of force. So this guy, he's powerful, he's fast, he's quick, all the things you want to see. What have I missed while I've been doing this? Have they made any more picks? Chop Robinson's gone. Eagles are up. Eagles, they got to be happy. Terrion Arnold's got to be the pick here, isn't it? Is Kenyon Mitchell even gone yet?
No, Kenyon Mitchell's not gone.
They've got their pick of corners have just plummeted. And who are the edge rushers? Dallas Turner, Latu, and Verse, and then Chop's gone.
Yep.
Brian Thomas, the fact that he did not get picked by the Bengals or the Jaguars, I mean, could he fall out of the first round? Seems like he could get all the way down to one of the Bills or the Lions. Oh my gosh, we got a bunch of new members.
The Jaguars they're at 23 now, right? They traded down.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yes, you're right. So they could potentially get him at 23. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you. Devin Hoover, a new member. Thank you for joining. Hawks fan Matt Man, a super chat says, Will John have any tricks up his sleeve to get additional picks between now and 81? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I say no, and I really hope not. I do not want to be using future picks to move up or something. You got to reset at some point and not be short picks, and this is a great time to do it.
Yeah, I don't think it's likely.
Tyler Lockett's going to announce their 3rd round pick, though, right?
Did you see?
Is it going to be a joint retirement and pick announcement?
Did you see that there was rumor that they were going to unveil a new Seahawks jersey? Was that?
Yeah, I saw that. I couldn't tell if that was real or not.
I don't know.
Deleted tweet, right, or something
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, I think it was Ari Merov or whatever.
Yep.
Deleted the tweet.
Or there was a screenshot of it, at least.
Yes.
It would be very funny if they traded Lockett for like a early 3rd round pick while he's there and supposed to announce it.
he's holding the new jersey
So
for the
evil.
new guy.
Yeah.
I don't think they
Honestly,
can trade him anymore.
Why not?
Cap wise.
Yeah,
Like
he restructured.
yeah, with his new deal, I don't because
Yeah,
I think it's all guaranteed or something for this year.
All right,
That's
can I
gotta
read
be
you
a
guys
dream
another bit
Schneider.
on Byron Murphy? This comes from Football Insights, and this is defensive tackle prospects that have a 12% or greater career pressure rate. Okay? Their pressure rate. The only guys drafted since 2016 that had a pressure rate above 12%, Quinnen Williams, Jonathan Allen, Christian Barmore, who I don't know who that is, Chris Jones, Vita Vea, Kalijah Cansey, and Dexter Lawrence. So all highly impactful interior rushers. The only guys in this draft class that have a pressure rate over 12% on the defensive tackle are Michael Hall Jr. at 12.7, Byron Murphy at 12.5, and Brandon Dorlus at 12.3. So,
And calling Dorlus a defensive tackle is a little.
Yeah, he's a tweener.
he's a different type of player for sure.
Yeah. Throwing him in there.
PFF also does what they call true pass set. So they take out play action and screens. So it's just kind of pure passing snaps. Byron Murphy's win rate on those was 30%.
That's wild.
Second in the country. There was somehow someone ahead of him, but the next closest was actually Michael Hall Jr., who I know, Brian, I think you're a fan of, and Jeff is definitely a fan of. But again, another category where Byron Murphy is number one.
All right. Can I read to you guys what Dane Brugler said about Byron Murphy, who he had as his number one defensive tackle prospect?
Mm-hmm.
You guys want the short or the long version? I'll start short, and if you want more, I'll go longer. This is the summary. A one-year starter at Texas, Murphy played multiple spots on the interior defense coordinator Jeff Choate's scheme. Although his stats don't jump off the page, his productive improved each season, and he finished 2023 with a team best 45 pressures and ranked number 1 among all FBS interior defensive linemen in pass rush win percentage, 19.6%. Murphy fires off the ball to get a vertical push through gaps or establish low man positioning, which helps him shed blocks or anchor the point of attack. He can get swallowed up at times, but his effort and hand usage make his lack of size less of a concern than expected. Overall, Murphy doesn't have ideal length, but his rare combination of lower body twitch, natural leverage, and power throughout his frame sets him apart. With his disruptive energy, both as a pass rusher and versus a rush, projects as an impact starter who can play shaded nose or 3-tech, similar to Grady Jarrett.
Interesting. See Mike Spin Move, who I know has been on the pod a couple times. Griff, comped him to Grady Jarrett as well.
Robert Griffin III called Byron. He said Byron Murphy is the Fogo de Chao of buffet eateries. So he's also got that going for him.
That guy's had a very odd little trajectory, hasn't he? Like
He's
Robert
yeah.
RG3?
RG3.
I like him in the booth in U.S. college games.
I'm
He's
just
good.
like, he's got a weird persona that he's cultivated
On
like,
Twitter.
On Twitter especially, yeah.
I don't know.
Do you guys have any concerns about Murphy at all? And I'm not trying to just stoke.
I will answer your
stoke
question.
people.
I want to first give you Lance Zierlein's comp for Byron Murphy is Ed Oliver as another comp.
Interesting.
It's an interesting one. Calls him a muscular ball of explosiveness. I will take that. We've never had a muscular ball of explosiveness in Seattle.
What? LJ Collier? Maximum effort?
Yeah, sure. I think we could definitely talk downside of Byron Murphy. What do you want to? What are some concerns that are worth bringing up?
I think my one concern is he seemed kind of out of control a little bit in run defense. Like there were plays where he would maybe get doubled up and he would like drop down to his knees. And it just seemed like he maybe lost balance or slipped because he's trying to, move too quickly or something like that. I'm not saying this is a major red flag, but I remember watching snaps where like he's on his knees and I'm like, how did you get there?
Yeah,
I am seeing, by the way, Evan, you're right. He scored 2 offensive touchdowns, passing and rushing.
Wow.
Hand this man the ball on the 1-yard line in the Super Bowl. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit undersized. He doesn't have ideal length, like arm, like those types of things. Certainly, he has not had the production in college. I mean, he had like 5 sacks last year. So those are the things that are some at least yellow flags. I think there's a lot of reasons of why those aren't going to be a big deal, but I think certainly that's something to be like. What's the floor for Byron Murphy? What's the floor for Byron Murphy? Is it Jaron Reed?
No, I don't think they're quite similar.
Good question. Q-Jeff?
Jeff?
I think he's better than Q-Jeff.
No, I just think Q-Jeff is a very different, like he's an agility guy. He's not strong. I don't know.
So someone in the chat said Malik McDowell.
Oh God, I hope not. Oh my gosh, Ryan Cleveland, an absolute best friend of the show, became a YouTube member. Ryan, thank you for the continued support. Wishing you and your fam well. So thank you for continuing to support the show. My gosh, Pre-Fight Donuts, a new YouTube member. He's been crushing it. I'll have to check back on the draft board. Skylar Lamb, a new YouTube member. Got a bunch of folks joining as YouTube members. Someone asked, are we still hoping to draft T'Vondre Sweat? I am. Nothing's changed for me on that. This is the dream, is being able to add T'Vondre Sweat to this mix, but it's not the most likely outcome, but I still certainly would take it. Yeah. Who is the floor? Like, who are other players that are like Byron Murphy, muscled up?
I don't know if this fits like physically or playstyle wise, but like he could I think his downside is something like was it Clinton McDonald, where
sure
he's a guy that like kind of, to Derek's point, right, like can't be effective enough against the run that he just gets designated to like a pass rush specialist, which is, I mean, pretty cool. Like when your downside is a role player that can have huge impact in the most important part of the game. But yeah, I mean, I think that's probably it, right? That like he doesn't turn into a really plus pass rusher. He's good, but not amazing. And then he struggles in the run, and you kind of have to use him situationally.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at some names of defensive tackles. Just to me, there's just not that many good ones. So, interestingly, Christian Barmore, I guess I should know who that is. He's pretty darn good. He plays for New England. He had like 8 sacks last year as an interior defender. 83 grade on PFF, 84.9 pass rush grade. So that whole list of guys that were over 12% career pressure rate, they've all hit. That's pretty cool.
Brian, it's interesting you brought up, was it Lance Erline you said comped him to Ed Oliver?
Yes.
Ed Oliver has not had other than last year, I'm looking, he had 9.5 sacks last year, but before that it was 2.5, 4, 3, 5. I don't think he's been quite the disruptive player that, warranted a top, whatever he ended up being, top 10 pick, I think he was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that's a reasonable floor. If you're looking for like, hey, this guy, take away Ed Oliver's 9.5 sack season and just go with his first 4 years. That's probably the floor you're looking at is, gets on the field, can be a somewhat disruptive pass rusher, but other than that, isn't too noteworthy.
Yeah. I mean, that still would be better than almost any defensive tackle the Seahawks have drafted in a long time. Okay.
We've had a couple picks here.
Brian Thomas. So Kenyon Mitchell does go to the Eagles. They got to be thrilled about that. Brian Thomas Jr. goes to the Jags. This, by the way, certainly seems like Brandon Ayuk is staying in San Francisco.
It's a good call.
New member, Jeff Smock. Jeff, welcome to the club, man. So happy to have you.
The Bills, maybe?
For who?
For Ayuk?
Ayuk. They need a receiver, for sure.
Do they have the cap room to do that?
That I don't know. But I mean, everyone's kind of expecting them to take a receiver here. So
yeah, that's tough though. Brian Thomas is gone.
Yeah, I mean,
Bills have $3 million in cap space, so probably no on the Ayuk trade.
I mean, they wouldn't need to. It wouldn't be for this year, but like they need to sign him into an extension. What's their cap space like next year or the year beyond?
27 million next year, 67 million the year 3, but 27 is not a lot for next year.
Yeah, I don't know if they're really a possibility. I think the 49ers are going to end up keeping him. I mean, based on how trades have been, like the trades, like, is there any trade that you're like, oh man, that was a great trade? Some team that traded down just came out with a haul.
No, well, there's only been, has it just been, well, the Jets and the Vikings.
There's been 2 trades.
The only notable trade was the Vikings moving from 23 to 17.
And that wasn't even like
that was the 2025 picks. Yeah.
God, the chaos of like the projected trades just did not happen at all.
And like, I don't think it's that surprising. There's just too many good players to get like a team worked up that, oh, we gotta go get a guy, right? Like Dallas Turner falls way farther than people thought, and so okay, they go get him, but like Jared Verse maybe is surprising. I don't know, but like, well, look at the Rams. Like people were talking about, they might try to get up into the top 10, but they sit at 19 and they get Jared Verse, right? Like, so at some point it's like, why are we trading up when we know one of these studs is going to fall to us?
I do want to give a little shout out to Joel Klatt, who on his show and also on Brock and Salk, he talked about how much time he spent an hour sitting down in a prep for one meeting in Michigan, University of Michigan, going over Mike Macdonald's philosophy on defense, and just talked about how important the run wall was and how important defensive tackle was to Mike Macdonald as he's building. And he has had Byron Murphy as his pick for the Seahawks the whole time, and just really clear on why that made sense. And as of right now, he is lapping the field in the 2024 prediction spreadsheet. He's got 77 points.
Wow.
The next closest is 66 points from Matt Miller. 66. And then Eric Edholm's at 62. The best of us right now is Jeff Simmons and one Derek is tied at 60. I'm 4 points back at 56. Nathan's having a rough one so far.
Oh yeah, this is completely falling apart. How many?
What's that?
How many points do I have?
45. It's okay.
Sounds
You
like
still
a
got
lot.
time. There's a comeback in the works here.
I don't know.
I think the Cowboys might take Graham Barton here.
Oh, God, someone's going to be very fortunate to get that kid. I mean, I think he's going to be a great player. Let's see. This whole round has just gone pretty quick. Who do you think's helped themselves the most? I mean, how do the Bears feel about Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze?
That's
You
pretty
gotta feel
awesome.
pretty good.
Feel great. I think they feel great. The only question I have is, would you have rather spent that on an offensive tackle? Because their O-line's not great. And they still have DJ Moore. They still have Keenan Allen. Look, I love Rome Odunze, but I just wonder if getting a tackle would have been a better move there.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have gotten Fashanu, Fuaga.
Yeah.
A lot of the tackles were gone. I mean, well, at least a couple of them. Alton Latham. I think the Rams have to feel really happy with
Yeah.
Getting Jared Verse there, like that's exactly what they needed. Who got somebody that you just didn't think they were going to have a chance to get? I would say the Eagles getting Kenyon Mitchell at 22.
Wait, hold up. That was a trade just now.
Yes. The
Lions.
Cowboys have
Ooh.
traded with the Lions.
Lions were at
Lions are moving up
29.
28. Oh no,
Say
29. You're right.
29.
Cooper DeJean. I'm calling Cooper DeJean here.
That does feel like a very Dan.
Either that or Graham Barton.
I have
They
seen
just
the
signed
pick.
Zeitler to a 1-year deal. Did they think that the Packers are going to get Graham Barton, then they sniped him here?
First off, compensation was a third rounder, pick 73.
Wow,
That's pretty good.
That's steeper than what?
That's better than what that feels better than what the Jags got, or was it the Jags at 17?
Yeah.
I have seen the pick.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Terrion Arnold.
Oh,
Okay, sure.
The corner?
yeah.
Alabama.
I think it's a great ad. I don't know who they felt like they needed to jump to get him, but I think I think he could be the best corner in this class. So he goes to
Detroit. Packers are
Detroit.
Packers are on the clock. Graham Barton feels like a Packers kind of pick.
Yeah. I think Justice has been yelling about this for weeks.
Yeah.
Man, anything you guys have found? Any story? Have we gotten any quotes or other pieces here out on the Twitter sphere?
I haven't seen anything else since the Robert Griffin III thing.
Mina's tweet about Byron Murphy was funny.
What did she
What?
say?
I didn't have the audio, so I couldn't listen.
It was that got him. We freaking got him.
Oh,
Puna Ford tweeted out, Seattle got a great one.
nice.
Where's Puna these days?
Buffalo?
No,
So
he went
He
to
went
a
there
West.
for-
Did he go to the Rams? Or Chargers maybe? He signed with a West Coast team. I can't remember which one.
I thought it was East Coast.
Well, he went to the Bills a while ago, but he's not with them anymore.
Is it Nathan? You looked it up?
Yeah, Chargers. Yeah.
Jim Nagy says, "Congrats, Seahawks fan. You just drafted Grady Jarrett. Byron Murphy's a bad dude."
I don't know if I like his endorsement, but I'll take it. 45 pressures in 23, fifth among all DTs.
He's a real one, man. I could not be more excited about him. I mean, the only way I could be more excited if somehow they'd added a second round pick and still.
So the Seahawks just tweeted out a picture of Byron Murphy, and the colors are like the throwback jerseys. Could that be what the Seahawks are planning to announce? Is that they're making the throwbacks their permanent home jersey?
No
That'd be
shot.
amazing.
There's no way they would do that, right?
Man, it doesn't look good though.
It does.
Is that even the kingdom behind it? It is, right?
It is. It is.
That's funny.
Well, we know that the pick's already in for Detroit. Why don't they move a little faster, man? Let's get this pushed through.
Do we want to talk day 2?
Yeah, let's talk day 2. I mean, we already got a question about whether or not we think they're going to move in the second round. I think we're all unified in that we don't think they're going to do that. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's just hard to see how.
I think the kinds of players that you're probably not going to get a chance at in that situation, there's a few safeties that probably will be off the board. There's definitely some linebackers that are going to be off the board. Offensive guards like Cooper Beebe will probably be gone by then if you wait to the third. Those kinds of guys.
Yeah, I think it depends how the board falls, but there's a lot of options at guard that I think it's a decent spot that one of these guys, Zach, whether it's Zinter or Beebe or Christian Haynes or Christian Mahogany, Mason McCormick, one of these guys feels like they'll definitely be there at 81 if that's where the Seahawks feel they need to go.
I'm on record as saying, even though I want them to get a guard, that's not the pick I want them to use on guard. I want them to use one of their 4th round picks on guard. I don't think the difference between the guards you'd get at 81, the guards you'd get at 102 is significant. I do think the difference between the safeties or the linebackers that you would get at those two spots is pretty large, and potentially wide receiver. I think wide receiver is a sneaky potential pick for the Seahawks. I don't think it's most likely. Go ahead.
I was going to say 81 feels late for a wide receiver, though. Like, I think you've missed a pretty big talent cliff.
I think that it depends on how you feel about guys like Malik Washington, Malachi Corley. There is some potential for Ricky Pearsall to fall into the 3rd round.
I don't really get the Pearsall love, but
so to your point, there might be other people that feel that way, but there are some folks that had him high 2nd. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you think? I don't think Edgerrin Cooper or Junior Colson will be there at 81.
Seems unlikely.
Any dispute there?
I think Junior Colson possibly could be. I think it's high. It's
Okay.
it's unlikely, but I think it's like I'd give it a 10 to 15% chance that he could last that long.
Who would be your pick then, Brian, of the remaining linebackers? Would it be Cedric Gray?
Of who? Like saying if Colson and Cooper are gone?
Yeah. Or would you be into safety at that point? If Colson's not there, would you be all in on safety?
It's really hard to know. It depends on who's available, right? Like, I'm a huge Javon Bullard guy. If Javon Bullard's there, I'm turning in a pick. I just don't know if he's going to last that long.
Bullard or Mustafa, I think.
I think
Both
Mustafa
would
will be there.
81.
Mustafa's a really interesting guy. I think he's a little bit more limited in how you can use him, but certainly is exciting. Is there a chance? This is probably, you're going to laugh, Mike. Is there a chance a guy like Marshawn Nealand falls down to the third round?
I think so. I think there is. Nathan, while you look that up, the Packers took Jordan Morgan.
Ah, okay.
I was wondering if they were going to do like a Roger Rosengarten or something, which he's kind of, same idea. So why is Barton slipping then? Are just the tackle potential? Is that they don't
maybe
think he can
people
play
see him
outside?
as a center, and maybe just positional value.
So Nealand's only 22, so that's fine. I don't know how much he gets knocked for Western Michigan. You guys are saying Nealand at 81?
I'm wondering if there's a chance. Like he is number 60 on the consensus big board from Arif. So it's not like that's crazy that he could fall 20 spots from consensus. The variance for him was relatively high, 96.
Yeah, I was going to say ESPN has him as 39. 39th.
Yeah. I think it's highly unlikely, Richie Brash says, hey, is there an amount I could donate to get my spelling of neighbors or Fashanu fixed in the mock draft, please?
$1,000. $1,000, Richie, in the super chat.
Richie, I will do that for you. Fashanu and neighbors, this is Richie Brash. I'll do this right now. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the support and participating. Richie Brash. Let me find you. Where are you, dude? There you are.
Hey, I called the Jordan Morgan pick at 25. Look at that.
For the Packers.
Yeah.
Can we talk about what would be like the worst possible outcome for Seahawks fans in terms of the Niners selecting up here in a little bit? Like, who do we want them not to take?
I think a lot of my biggest concerns are out the door with the tackles were the position that I feel like would be I want them to fall off a cliff when Trent Williams retires.
Mm-hmm.
I know who it is.
Who?
It's Cooper DeJean. They draft that guy, and he's amazing for the next 15 years, and we got to deal with that mug staring us in the face.
It would fit with their Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy.
They have a type.
They have a type.
They have a type. Oh my god.
They have a type.
That's certainly a way of putting it.
Oh my gosh. They've got a clan down there, so to speak.
Jesus. Good God.
So
is Johnny
Johnny Newton's there.
Newton could be a
Johnny Newton there?
He could cause trouble in that defensive front. That's a decent one.
Xavier Legette has, if they can recreate the Debo Samuel thing, that would be a bummer.
Oh, dude, what if they get Graham Barton?
Same school, right?
Yeah, same school and everything. Graham Barton, that's looking more and more likely too. That would be a bummer.
He is ideal for all the outside zone that they run. Like, he is just a puller, and their interior line is not great. Jackson Powers Johnson. I don't think I'd cry that much about that. Darius Robinson's an interesting one for them. Also, could be end inside kind of guy. What about like Edgerrin Cooper? With Dre Greenlaw's injury,
Yeah.
do they snipe a linebacker there? I mean, they signed Devondre Campbell, old veteran guy to a 1-year deal, but that might make some sense.
What
Feels
is their
early.
corner? What is their corner situation outside of Travarius Ward?
Their corner situation is, where is it? Our lads. I mean, they've got like Demondre Lenore as their nickel back, so I have them picking Mike Sainer still, which is my worst nightmare because I think he is so good, and I think he would be a great ad for them. So I'd put that in the list.
At least with him, you'd only have to worry about him for like 4 seasons because he'd be like 34. So,
Is he that old?
I think he's going to be 25.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Am I Mike Sanderson?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, I'm kidding about him being 34, but
I know.
he's up there, I think.
20.
Travarius Ward is one corner. Okay. Isaac Yadam is their other corner. Ambry Thomas. I mean, their nickelback is Demondre Lenore. I don't think they have a great cornerback room. So that was one place they could definitely improve. Yeah, I don't know. Like, is there a guy, Evan, is there a position you're thinking of?
Looking at the board.
How did the Cardinals get 27, by the way? What is the trade that got them this?
Is that from last year? Yeah.
From Houston.
From the Texans, yeah.
Yeah. We're very fortunate that that's what they ended up with.
Yeah.
I mean, the top guy right now left on the big board that hasn't been picked is Johnny Newton.
Pick us in for the Bucks.
Is his real name not Johnny?
It's
It is.
Jerzon.
It's Jerzon,
Okay.
but he said he prefers to be called Johnny.
Interesting.
Is it?
I mean, I mean, if it was like John and he wanted to be called Johnny, I was like, it's not very close.
I'm sorry. I've been on
like
too many live streams.
It's like
lately.
me being asked to be called like Mark. Like,
Still not interesting.
it's just not exactly close.
How's your pickleball been going? That is interesting.
Bro.
Are you good at pickleball?
Dude, I'm actually, I've gotten decent, but I still definitely get cooked by like people who have played quite a bit.
What is your strong part of your game and what is your weak part of your game?
I have very good touch for the corners, so I can like hit the corner hard, but like I often just give it like way too much power. So that's like my big problem.
So you're just too strong. I mean, this is like when people ask you for your negatives in a job interview. And you're like, what are your weaknesses? You're like, I just care too much. I work too hard.
To be fair, though, these pickleballs are like, they weigh like a pin. So it's not, it's not like some amazing strength feat to be able to hit those. Like, they're very light.
Are you
guys
getting
play pickleball?
Are you getting recruited at all? Like, are you?
Bro, we're like we've lost 2 matches in our pickleball league, so no, we're not getting recruited. In our social,
I think we were hearing that Graham Barton went to the Bucks.
I didn't want to say it because someone on Twitter told me that I need to stop tipping picks. So,
well,
Jonathan
I
Hankins?
saw it in chat, and I'm good with that, man. Go to the Bucks. Go to the Bucks.
Jonathan Hankins said, I like Byron Murphy, man. Hell of a player, especially in college. It's going to be nice to see him when I get back here. We got a great room. I think if growth should accelerate in his play, speaks for itself. Byron Murphy said, my play style is very aggressive. I can stop the run, rush the pass, all 3 downs. I'll be perfect for their scheme.
Byron Murphy, I don't know too much about Seattle, but I heard it rains a lot. I wish it had more sunshine.
No, you're just making that. That's
He said the first 2 parts.
generated.
I added the third part. He did say but I heard it rains a lot. That was from Aaron Levine. I just added the end to be clear.
Wait a second. Someone said someone's going to the 49ers? Wait, what? Oh, Darius Robinson to the Cardinals.
Interesting.
Wow.
Byron
I
Murphy
just
had
the Cardinals they're a while away. They need a lot to change. Because I mean, like Budda Baker's been their best player for a while, and he's only got a year or two left, right? Like he's definitely on the decline. So they not only do they have to get good players, but they've got to replace their best players.
Byron Murphy. They see me as a 3-tech. I think that was probably obvious, but
Yeah. What if they said they see him as an offensive lineman? They're going to turn him into the next J.R. Sweezy. They're like, Tom Cable's shadow is back.
Quick thing on Quinyon Mitchell. Nick Saban has admitted to trying to tamper with him to get him to transfer from Toledo to Alabama last year.
Really?
For real?
He said, Nick Saban on ABC said, quote, he was our number one guy in the portal last year to try to get him to come out of the portal, try to get him to go into the portal. That's what he meant. And he would never get in the portal, is what he said. So just admitting that.
It's going to be amazing if DeBoer gets to have to deal with sanctions because of Saban saying this stuff.
That would be hilarious.
Do you guys have a guess for who is the lowest on the consensus big board from Arif that's been drafted so far? Don't look. Just guess.
I'm just looking at the draft.
Morgan.
I just had the craziest conspiracy theory pop up in my
What?
brain
What?
around Michael Penix. What if the NFL? This is insane. So I have to preface this by saying this isn't going to happen. What if and I'm like moderately drunk, so this is like deep in my brain. What if the NFL voided Kirk Cousins' contract because of the tampering?
Oh.
Because they're being investigated for tampering.
That
They
just
don't do that,
benefits,
so they
just
take
benefits the Falcons.
It's crazy. I told you it's crazy.
Well, but like, why would the NFL void that instead of just punishing the team by taking away a draft pick in 2025?
Well, I mean, because the players' representatives engaged
That
in
would
tampering
screw
too.
Cousins so hard too.
It screwed
now
the
he's gonna
player
go.
quite a bit.
But it
Yeah.
was but
how would that screw the player? They would just give him the same contract, or I guess Kirk would. Maybe the Falcons
He'd
screw
hit the
him
free
and then
market
say we're
again.
not.
Yeah,
If
because
you're
I
saying
don't know.
yeah,
teams don't have cap space anymore to spend, so he would be.
Well, the Falcons would. It would open up.
yeah, this is a
Yeah, I guess
conspiracy
that's the other
theory.
thing.
So
that's the other thing too. If you did that and then he just goes back out and then signs the same deal, like what have you done?
Yeah, that's what they would do.
Yeah, they would.
I think they'll probably just take a draft pick punishment next year, like a fifth rounder or something.
yeah,
Brian,
you
to
were-
answer your question,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it's actually Bo Nix.
Yeah, actually, it's Bo Nix, right? It's gotta
wait,
be.
what was the
It might
question?
be Morgan. It might be Morgan, but I'm gonna say Bo Nix.
The lowest on the consensus big board that's been selected so far.
Yeah, is that also the worst pick of the first round so far?
It would arguably be.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the correct answer is Bo Nix. He is
What was he?
38th on the consensus big board.
Wow, I did not realize Jordan Morgan was consensus that high.
Jordan Morgan is 35.
Okay.
So he's the second worst on the big board in terms of who's been picked.
35 at 25 is not a huge reach, though.
No,
He's
the
8 at
38 to 12 is a bit of a reach. Bit of a reach. Yeah. And you could argue Michael Penix Jr. at 33 on the big board at
Yeah.
number 8. Some would say is a bit of a reach. I think the consensus is wrong on that one. So that's why I don't feel that way.
Brian loves inaccurate quarterbacks. Pass it on.
I actually it's funny. There's all the analytics stuff that's got him, like not analytics, the film guys that have him as kind of inaccurate, Michael Penix, and then you hear Joel Klatt talk about that he's like one of the best leverage passers he's seen, who always puts it away from the defender and gives his receivers the best chance to catch it. Every ball is a 60-40 ball for his receivers. And I mean, he's not the only one. Like, there's other places where you'll see a lot of folks just talk about how he's got terrific accuracy. So I understand. I've been convinced that the people that have done their homework see that he's not accurate, but Jesus Christ.
So the Bills have traded.
Wait, the Bills traded?
The Bills have traded. It's not showing yet.
Do you guys want to hear what Lance Zierlein said about Byron Murphy? Because you're
You already shared it, but let's hear it again.
I just had his
comp.
comp was Ed Oliver.
Oh, okay.
And the ball muscled ball of whatever. Hold on. So Zierlein, we talked about, he's a muscular ball of explosiveness with the tools and talent to become a 3-down defender in the right scheme. Twitchy first step quickness combined with flexion and power in the lower half create a recipe for disruption as a gap shooter or a pass rusher. Murphy's powerful and well schooled to take on double teams, but lacks ideal mass and length for that role long term. He's successful at bypassing protection with sudden hands and quick feet, while his motor and passion create an activity level coaches will love. Forget the average physical traits and modest production and focus on his competitive spirit and disruptive qualities. Murphy is ascending and could become a successful nose tackle or 3 technique in an even front. It's interesting that people think about him as a nose tackle.
Oh my God. Byron Murphy was watching the Legion of Boom when he was like 10 years old.
Are you looking up his tweets?
I just saw it.
Do they hire people now to go through players' old social media and like find things that need to be flagged and removed?
Dude, I would hope that when
there's a service for that.
Well, when they get representation, you would think that like an agent would go through that, right?
There's plenty of Twitter services you can use. Well, there used to be. I don't know what the API changes now, but yeah, you could go back and like, hey, show me every tweet that has a swear word in it.
Yeah.
Or keyword search and pull anything.
They traded to the Chiefs. The Bills traded to the Chiefs.
Ooh.
The Bills did?
Yeah. So the Chiefs moved from 32 to 28.
Who do they want?
This Aaron Wilson guy on Twitter like does not understand how white space works. He just shoves it all in one block tweet. I'm trying to read the compensation.
Who are you following that's giving you this?
Aaron Wilson, NFL.
Oh, Aaron Wilson. Yeah, that guy. He's all over the transactions, man. How does he have like a how is he the guy that has all the transaction stuff? You'd think anybody could get that.
It's impossible to decipher this. It's
so
just
the Bills
all in one chunk.
The Bills trade 28, 133, and 248. The Chiefs trade pick 32, 95, and 221.
Wait a second. That's too much for my brain.
Yeah, so
28,
133 and 248. That's the Bills giving up.
Wait. Do the first two of both of them. 28 and 133, and they get back 32
and 95.
That's what matters.
So they traded up in the second from the fourth or the 5th round. 133 is 5th round, right?
It's the top of the 5th, I think.
And they traded into the end of the 3rd round? That's pretty
it'd be
good.
the top of the 4th, I think, right?
No. Top of the 4th is 101.
Oh, you're right. End of the 3rd. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah,
because
there's all sorts of comp picks this year.
It's not bad for only moving down 4 spots.
Yeah, I would have done that deal.
100%.
And then they probably swapped some later round picks as well to kind of even it out a little bit. Probably like
I've seen the pick.
Or something.
I've seen the pick.
Who is it?
He is fast.
Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
The Chiefs with a Xavier Worthy. I mean,
what did he run on the 40?
The fastest time ever recorded.
Really? What was it?
4.21.
He broke John Ross's record.
Holy shit.
So they got their Tyreek replacement.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills have never done anything with super fast receivers, have they?
Sean
They don't
Jackson
know
was
how to
there
use those
for
guys, right?
a bit. Or was he
I mean-
washed? Was Sean Jackson washed when he got there?
Did we see the Chiefs at their weakest last year?
Pretty
Big
close.
stuff.
That's so infuriating
Yeah.
too.
Is there any reason to think that they will be worse this year than last year, other than like random shit like injury?
Maybe Kelsey does fall off, but
That's one.
Fitz Jones. too.
Rasheed Rice,
It's-
maybe he gets
there were-
suspended for the year.
there was a time in the season last year where it's like these guys are going to lose 6 games,
So
and then it just worked out.
I'm going to read you this quote from Kirk Cousins' agent that was just published like 2 minutes ago from Mike Garofalo.
You
Quote
still on this
unquote.
conspiracy theory?
No, this is crazy. Yes, it was a big surprise. We had no idea this was coming. The truth is the whole league had no idea this was coming. We got no heads up. Kirk got a call from the Falcons when they were on the clock. This was the first we heard. It never came up in any conversation.
Wow.
That's pretty
I thought there was
aggressive.
I thought there was some other reporting that Kirk Cousins said he knew quarterback was a possibility.
I did not see that.
I don't know if
I
he
think there was.
did. He think quarterback was a possibility at 8?
Right, maybe that's the thing.
Yeah. That's an aggressive quote.
I mean, it's an aggressive move.
Yeah.
If that's true, it's a bizarre move by the Falcons.
It makes me wonder if like they really don't see Kirk beyond like year 1, year
Why
2.
did they give him all the money?
How do you
Yeah,
get
it
out of
makes
it
me
after year 1? This is why I don't.
Do you trade him?
Unless
Do you trade him?
Maybe, but
Let me check his signing bonus.
the scenario where you're trading him is a scenario where he doesn't win you 11 games. So what are you getting? Who's going to pay that contract if you're trading him and he's, looks bad after coming back from this ACL tear?
Oh wait, this was a 4-year deal. This was not a 3-year deal.
It's a void on the 4th, I think.
Not what I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah. 24 and 25 are fully guaranteed. Yeah, $50 million signing bonus. Bro.
But they can get out of it after year 2.
I mean, yeah.
25 dead money, but 32 in cap savings.
Wait a second. 26 roster. For the received 100 of 24, 25. Then there's okay. Yeah, that 26 years unguaranteed. You're right.
Even still, it's 2 years. If it was 1 year guaranteed
Yeah.
and then an out, I could see making the pick. Having it be essentially fully guaranteed through 2 years is bizarre.
Hold on a second. Did you guys see this quote from Byron Murphy? It's an honor for them to come and get me, believe in me, investing in me. So I'm going to give them everything I got. I owe them my all, everything, blah, blah, blah. Growing up, that was my favorite team. Now to be drafted by Seattle is crazy.
Yeah, he also said, following on from that, used to watch, talking about Michael Bennett, used to watch that guy a lot, man. Michael Bennett, he was a great player. So,
I mean,
there you go, Evan. Just like what you were saying. He was watching the LOB when he was
Like
10 years
10
old.
years old. That's so annoying. Bro, I'm old now. Fuck.
Evan, I really appreciate you limiting the F-bomb.
Oh,
I think that's only like 7, 8, 9 so far.
at least I wasn't the first
You
violator.
weren't the first. I started it. It's true.
When somebody else sins, I'm allowed to sin as well.
Yeah. Okay, here is one of
Walter
the.
says, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say on that Chiefs trade, Seth Walder says it's a cheap trade up for the Chiefs. They only surrendered an extra 6-round picks worth of value.
This was one of the charts that I remember seeing of Byron Murphy. And this comes from a company called Sumer Sports. So let me share this tab real quick.
Yeah, Nathan, we had Sean on last night.
So this is time to pressure. Higher's better. That means your quicker pressure, and then your pressure rate here. That's Byron Murphy. All the way over here. There's Michael Hall Jr., who I also have a draft crush on, but I thought of Michael Hall Jr. as a fallback option for Byron Murphy. You know, Murphy is certainly a little bit farther along, but neither of these guys are pretty remarkable.
I saw this chart like 5 minutes ago, and I did not realize the x-axis or the y-axis was inverted. So I was like, "Oh man, there's like 6 defensive tackles that are faster with pressure than him."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's not that great."
That's
Right, exactly. Shoot. Now where did I put the draft? Go back to sharing this. Yeah, Sumer Sports. Shout out to our boy who's the VP over there of analytics, Sean Clement, who I called Ben last night at one point.
Sean's a good guy. I'm glad he came on.
Yeah, that was cool, man. Byron Murphy had 300 to 400 people at his draft party.
Wow.
I did see that in a hotel.
That's gonna be a fun night.
So Cooper DeJean is still available. Could
It's DeJean, right?
No, it's DeJean.
No, I don't.
I've been saying DeJean, and then Nathan said DeJean, and I was like, "Oh, Nathan's got to be right."
I think
always-
Nathan's butchering his name intentionally.
No, it's
was
like
I right
mustard.
originally?
I think you were right, Evan.
Gosh,
I've
damn it.
heard it is DeJean.
Is this another
But-
iFetty situation?
It's an iFetty, yeah.
I assumed Nathan was right because he's an intelligent man.
As you should, yeah.
So you can pull up the clips from earlier. I called him. People are saying DeJean.
Me and Derek argued about Cooper DeJean for like an hour in the group chat, and we about how he should actually be a second rounder, and it's happening. We were right. He's going to end up in the second round.
Yeah, hold on, but we agreed he should be a second rounder. We just
Argued a lot still somehow.
We debated whether punt returns were a valuable asset or not.
That's right.
You guys
Somebody
are-
said in the chat that Cooper DeJean's highlights were amazing, and it took a lot of strength not to throw it on the screen and yell at him about it because they're bad.
It wasn't me.
So has the Cowboys picked yet?
They did. I
It
could
just
take
got
that.
announced on Twitter. Yeah.
Who would it-
Okay, it's Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle, Oklahoma.
Yikes.
Well, that's kind of a need
Right.
for them, right? Or is
It's
that a
definitely a need.
reach?
Yeah, I'm not a big Tyler Guyton guy. I think they're getting the dregs.
I'll just tell you this: if I'm a Bills fan, and I just traded that pick to the Chiefs and saw the Chiefs take that 4.20 whatever,
He's fast. There's holes in his game though.
No, but I think Evan's right. This is the team that has been your barrier from the Super Bowl for years now, and you just traded with them to get the player that they felt so strongly about that they wanted to trade up for. I don't
It's
think
like-
anybody's feeling good about that in Buffalo.
emotionally, yeah, it's like
Okay,
us trading a pick to the Niners, right? And they
Yeah.
took us-
But would you feel any different about the Chiefs if that were Lad McConkey or Xavier Leggett or A.D. Mitchell
No,
or Jalen Poole?
but that's the
Keon
point. Is they're
Coleman?
getting their pick of those receivers. That's they could have picked any of those guys. They could have waited, but they feel strongly enough about Worthy being a fit for what they want to do that they traded with their rival to get up there and pick this guy. So personally, I thought Lad McConkey would be just a amazing fit for the Chiefs. But Worthy's, I mean, that speed is hard to teach, man. As far as I know, you can't teach it. That's what I've been told.
Well, you can hack it by being a 161-pound wide receiver. So I mean, was he not? Was he not
Is
like
that
100?
really what he is?
No,
He's
Maybe
not
he was
that
165, but he was in the 160s for sure.
Holy
Like,
shit.
165.
he is not a built out guy. So
Oh my goodness. All right. We got 3 more picks, fellas. 3 more picks.
Brian, what's the plan for tomorrow? If you have thought
Well,
that through.
so that's a thought. I'm like, I haven't yet set up Hawkblogger mornings, and I'm sure I'll go live. I mean, people are just gonna have to wait. I'm gonna put very little effort into my YouTube thumbnail for that. That's for sure. You realize, I mean, I get up every morning at like 5 to get my son ready for school, and we're already at the point where I'm thinking about getting into bed for me. So I didn't have dinner, so none of this is perfect.
Okay, so the
Intermittent
Ravens.
fasting is happening today. But
Do
then
you want
tomorrow
to-
evening at what is it, 4?
I believe it starts at 4.
I'm gonna go on again. I don't know if I'll go live the whole time.
Definitely not for me either.
I didn't expect any of you to join unless you want to, but I will probably make a game time decision about when I actually go live. But sometime close to the 3rd round probably is when I'll go live.
And remind me, they're what pick number in the
81.
81. Okay, so that's like middle of the 3rd ish.
Yeah.
Okay. And is it 5 minutes or 3 minutes?
I believe second round is 7 and third round is 5.
Is that 7 minutes a pick in the second round?
I believe so.
Man, my memory is
I
shot.
think it's
with
10,
it being
7,
that long.
5, and then fourth is like 4 minutes or something, and then it's way down there. I think it's 3 minutes for 5, 6, 7.
Got it.
I just
It
gotta.
changed,
I gotta.
though.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nathan.
Oh no, go ahead.
I just gotta say, there's someone who I won't mention who is like all about saying I've said the Seahawks are gonna pick this guy is probably likely, and so be ready for them to pick this guy. And
I already know.
now tweeting out about how Byron Murphy was number 2 on their big board, and I'm like, saying that you're predicting that they're going to do every possible thing and then taking a victory lap when they do one of those possible things is not impressive.
So
I'm
seeing,
not taking any victory laps here. I'm just excited.
I'm not watching the broadcast, but I'm seeing a ton of tweets that ESPN just accidentally showed the Ravens' entire draft board.
Ooh.
What?
We'll see.
I'm seeing a
Screenshots
ton of
that
tweets
soon.
about this.
What?
Like they didn't blur it out.
Yeah.
Yikes. Just Google
So-
or
People
search
do
on
this
Twitter.
all the time, though, where like they see because the teams they have a board where they're putting just the names of the players who have been picked up, and so
Yeah, it could be that.
Chatter, if you saw that, let me know.
There's people tweeting, but I haven't seen a picture yet. Hopefully, someone can get a screenshot.
If you search Ravens draft board, they put up we'll see. The whole board was shown.
No. Is there a picture?
How can they do that? How can they be that? Oh, the Ravens drafted Nate Wiggins.
I found a photo.
Sharon.
Oh my
Sharon-
God, they
Twitter
did. Wait, I mean, like half of it is
how
Share,
is
share.
it-
Not on screen here, but share
yeah.
somewhere.
Image address. Here we go. I'm gonna drop it in the thing right here. Dropped in private chat. I'm not gonna publish that, obviously. That's wild.
Ooh, I gotta look at this.
Ooh. Man, you can read that too if you zoom in.
I mean,
Wait, it says
Oh,
round 2, Joey Porter
that's
Jr.
Does it? No, hold on. On the right side, there's local pro day prospects, but those aren't rankings. Those is a local pro day.
No, I don't
What
think
about the
that's
left side?
anything. That's last year's.
There's no way they would let you have
No,
cameras.
yeah,
in
it says
that room.
Bryce Young. It says Bryce Young, number 1.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're like doing that. They did that intentionally or something. It says Bryce Young,
Or did
QB,
somebody
number
just
1.
It's
troll
last year's.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
And I don't think that's even a board. I think that might be the way.
It might be
that-
like at the end of the draft, and they filled it all out.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
usually they don't handwrite. That looks handwritten, like someone wrote the results.
Thank
Usually
God.
they-
Niners are on the board, guys. What are the Niners going to do?
So Nate Wiggins went. Is that what we said to the Ravens?
Nate Wiggins went. Johnny Newton feels like a real possibility here.
Yeah.
Lad McConkey would be a great 49er pick. I'd hate it. It'd be a great pick.
Hey, I didn't watch corners. Kool-Aid McKinstry, does he have any inside-out nickel versatility, or is he strictly outside corner?
I don't know that answer to that question. I didn't spend as much time on him. I mean, he definitely size-wise looks like he would fit there. So Guyton's gone. I mean, Edge Cooper feels like a possibility. Peyton Wilson. I mean, they could take, if they want to go all in, Peyton Wilson's the most talented linebacker in this group and might just not play very long. Edge Cooper feels like a possibility.
I think Johnny Newton seems like
Johnny Newton makes a lot of sense. It would be a great pick. I could see them going Jackson Powers Johnson. I mean, there's a lot of directions they could go. There have not been a lot of reaches, like guys that were clear second round guys jumping up.
I have seen the pick.
Who is it?
It's Nathan's guy.
Told you.
Cooper DeJean.
Is it really?
It is Cooper DeJean.
I don't see that anywhere.
Oh, wow.
It's an interesting one.
It's annoying, but
The Clan does it again. I mean, he certainly they've got to type. That is the quote of the night. They've got to type. Nick Bosa is very excited about this pick.
Interesting.
Uh,
Is he a safety for them?
he's probably gonna be a nickel. Like he'll probably be a hybrid player for them that can play inside, outside, safety.
wait, no, that's not who they're taking at all.
Oh, who lied to us?
That was a lie from
Derek.
Derek.
Oh. Okay.
They're taking-
I should know. It was Dov Kleiman who tweeted it out. Like that.
So the 49ers are taking Florida wide receiver Ricky Pearsall?
Pearsall. I love that kid.
Oh wow.
What does that mean about Brandon Ayuk, though?
Does that mean they weren't getting like a first round offer for Ayuk?
Sure
I
sounds.
think
they're
that is
saying
what it means.
We'll
and I wonder
roll
if
into
it
day
means
2
that
and
they
ship him
will.
off tomorrow.
I wouldn't be shocked if they play out his contract and then just like to go for it again next year and then just let him go and get a comp pick for him.
Is he
I
franchise
feel
tag
like,
this year?
I don't think they can, from a cap perspective, afford the franchise tag for him.
But no, this year is he on his 5th year?
No, he's on his 5th year rookie
year option
deal.
this year. Okay.
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall is still fits their archetype.
Their archetype. Oh my god.
That is now the lowest graded player on the consensus board to go in the first round. He was ranked 49th.
Also 24.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love
He is a phenomenal athlete though. Holy moly. Have you seen his numbers? He is a wild athlete.
I was making a face at whatever that noise Evan made.
Oh.
What do you love about that? About 24-year-olds, Evan?
he's an old player. Like
okay.
I love it. Love it when you know what I mean. He's like almost 25.
Yeah. No. Well, he turns 24 in September, so he'll be 24 this year, but he's not almost 25.
Yeah, he ran a 6.64 3-cone.
Yeah.
That's insane.
His 40-yard dash is 4.41. His overall RAS score, relative athletic score, was 99th percentile. His 40-yard dash was 93rd. His 20-yard split was 96th. 10-yard split was, he's got to work on his font, 98th percentile. His agility grade, his shuttle score, 95th percentile. 3-cone, 98th percentile. His vertical jump, 42-inch vertical jump, 99th percentile. 10-foot broad, 95th percentile. He even had 84th percentile bench press, repped it 17 times. So, I mean, he's a legit athlete, and you give him to Kyle Shanahan. I can see the thought process. I just wonder what they're going to do with Ayuk, or maybe Debo. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I think he's more of a Debo edge, right? Debo.
There's been another trade, apparently.
Really?
The Panthers are on the clock. The Bills have traded out of the first round.
Again.
They want a 5th-year option on somebody. Right?
Who would the Panthers be moving up for? What would make sense? Johnny Newton?
They must have felt like they were going to get.
They didn't draft at all tonight, right? Because they gave it up to Bryce
this
Young.
will be their first pick.
Okay.
I mean, they could go receiver, Adonai Mitchell.
So
Donkey.
Buffalo traded 32 and 200 for 33 and 141.
Oh, they only moved back one spot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But they picked up 60 spots on that.
I would guess it's. I mean, there's all
they need a receiver. They need a receiver since they sent off DJ Moore, right? I mean, what's the receiver room even look like?
Well, remember there's all this thing that they were basically promised that they were going to take Xavier Legette. Did you hear that coming out?
No, I did not.
There was a rumor that who's their owner, Tepper, stopped at like a restaurant that had some sign up that said "Let the GM and coach pick this year," and he like yelled at the hostess about the sign. I don't know if any of this is true, but somebody tweeted it, so I'm gonna repeat it here, and it happened. So
I'm very glad I'm not a Panthers fan. I mean, they're screwed with that owner. Although I like Dan Morgan and Dave Canales. If he lets them do their jobs, I think they got a chance.
I don't like the offseason moves they made.
They did dump a truck.
Damian Lewis? Are you kidding? Dude, the guy's
they're overpaying for
guard.
really mediocre talent.
Yeah.
I've seen three good sources announce the pick. So hopefully I don't get burned like
was it Dov and Dov?
No, it's not Dov. It's not Dov. I promise. It's Legette.
All right.
So the thing that happened there is the player went on some podcast and said out like in public, they told me they guaranteed me I'd be the pick.
Wow.
And so like worst secret ever. It's just a little odd that they felt. I mean, maybe it was just a 5th-year option. Wide receiver is an expensive position nowadays, and maybe it's worth it. Nathan, you've been big on Legette, right?
Oh, not really. I mean, I like him, but nothing amazing. I mean, he's good athlete. And
all right, let's quickly look at where the scoring update is. We have one more pick. The first pick of the second round is part of the prediction game, so that will be part of the scoring. But as it currently stands, the high score for either the experts or the people on the Hawk Blogger staff is Derek, 82 points. He is one ahead of Joel Klatt, who has 81 points. Nathan and I are well off. I'm at 60. Nathan's at 50. Jeff right behind at 76, so not far off. But Derek's looking very strong. And let's see who is currently leading the overall for the contest is Caleb Epp at 82 points, tied with Derek. Caleb Epp is in the driver's seat, so we will find out tomorrow for sure who wins. Guys, it's nearly 9 o'clock. We've been on for almost 4 hours. Seahawks have added Byron Murphy. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts about the first round, the Seahawks picks, anything else from you guys before we go? Evan, I'll go with you first, and then I'll let you drop first.
Yeah, this is I think an identity setting night for this new coaching staff. For years, we've been complaining about, and I think rightfully criticizing, a team that has failed to properly invest and allocate resources towards the trenches. They've been building from the out in, and this new coaching staff has made it very clear that they are going to punch you in the throat and move guys off the line. And I don't think this pick could be any more encouraging and affirming of that sort of approach to building this roster. So I really wouldn't be surprised. This may be like a hot take, but I think this is like a legitimate like Hall of Fame candidate type of guy based on what I've seen from like consensus among all the draft experts. So we'll see. I don't know if you guys saw his tweet the tweet that I shared, but like on his Instagram, like a month ago when Aaron Donald retired, he screenshotted it and he was like, it's my turn next, in terms of Hall of Fame trajectory. So I'm excited about him. He's going to be a force with Leonard Williams. So
love it. Thank you, Evan Hill at Evan Hill HB. Derek, current leader in the clubhouse of projecting the first round. What do you got? What's your take?
It's an A. They stuck and pick. They didn't take a bad trade down. It's all you can ask for, really. They took the best player available. They beefed up at a position they needed to beef up. It's an A+.
Went from A to A+ in one sentence. I love that.
Sentence.
I love the trend. Nathan, where are you at? What's your final thoughts about Seahawks pick, about the first round? Any thoughts?
Yeah, no. Fire John Schneider. Still 100% on that train. Offseason is a disaster. And I don't know if this team can ever win a football game again. So it's a real uphill battle from here.
Can I just say something real quick? John Schneider's draft selections post Pete Carroll, he's got 100% hit rate right now. 100% has never missed. So
he hasn't even.
This is some Jason Myers math going on.
I'm just saying.
He's 2 for 2 on the season.
Tell me I'm statistically wrong here. You can't say that. So
you can't. It's unprovable. Yeah, my last thing I'll just say is the only way this could have been better is if the Seahawks somehow got a silly haul for trading back and still got a great player. That wasn't in the cards tonight. There's no evidence that anybody was paying premium to move up in this draft. Nobody paid for the second year in a row. Nobody really paid a premium to move up. Keep that in mind in future years. That doesn't seem to be a thing anymore. And this was a draft with tons of quarterbacks. 6 went in the first freaking 12 picks. That's nuts. And still nobody moved up to do that. So I think that's wild to me. I think the Seahawks made the best decision they could with the position that they were in. And I will say one other thing is that I have kept an eye on this since the end of last season. The Seahawks, when they played the Cardinals end the year, and they should have lost that game, and the Cardinals kicker missed a field goal to win the game, right? And then the Seahawks ended up winning it on a kick like they had no business. That was the difference between the 16th pick and the 12th pick in the draft. It also was a difference for the Cardinals. The Cardinals would not have Marvin Harrison Jr. if the Seahawks had done what they should have done, which is lose that game. If the Seahawks had picked 12, I don't think it would have changed who they picked. I still think they would have picked Byron Murphy. I don't think they would have picked Brock Bowers or Talisa Fuaga. I definitely don't think they would have picked Bo Nix or Latu. Maybe they would have gotten a trade offer, but I don't think they would have. And so minor point to something that's been on my mind I've been curious about. And man, thank God for once the Seahawks are building from the inside out. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do on day 2. I think now that they've got Byron Murphy, they're set up to have a strong draft. Just don't do stupid shit. Don't do stupid shit. And we could be making moves. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens tomorrow night. I will be with you all tomorrow morning. I can't tell you for sure what time, but probably pretty soon after 7 because I'll just want to get on and ramble. We will talk Hawk Blogger Mornings. Please be there. I will see you. Thank you to all the YouTube members who joined tonight. Thank you for all the Patreon members who've joined and supported the show. Please give a like and click subscribe if you haven't already. This has been another episode of Real Hawk Talk Draft Party. We'll see you all again tomorrow. Take care.